Golden Age Radio is starting now. Subscribe to get future updates.
Hey everybody, get ready for some great shows. Starting out with Cavalcade of America, Lux Theater with some great Hollywood stars, Groucho Marx, one of the best comedians in history, and also followed by the hilarious Red Skelton.
The Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont. In the long line of noble and distinguished men and women in the Cavalcade of America, there is one who has been called a perfect citizen. Although Stephen Girard is well known as the founder of Girard College in Philadelphia, people of today are not so familiar with his activities as merchant, philanthropist, banker, and patriot. Stephen Girard worked always for the good of general public. Similarly, research chemists are working for the public good. The many luxuries that we of today call necessities, such as automobiles, telephones, airplanes, and the like, would never have been perfected if it hadn't been for the contribution made by the science of chemistry. Throughout the country today, we find men unselfishly and sincerely in chemical laboratories working to provide us with the comforts and conveniences of life, which are summed up in the DuPont pledge: better things for better living through chemistry. As an overture, Don Voorhees and the DuPont Cavalcade Orchestra play Jerome Kern's popular favorite from The Cat and the Fiddle, The Night Was Made for Love. The actions and motives in the life of any famous man are subject to varied interpretation. But careful research seems to affirm the facts of Stephen Girard's life substantially as we present them. Stephen Girard was born in France in 1750. Our story begins in the year 1764 when he was 14 years of age. At Bordeaux, a seaport of France, young Stephen Girard is watching a small sailing vessel loading at a wharf.
Hey there, young fella. Look lively there. You'll be loaded in the hole with those barrels if you don't get out of the way.
Oh, pardon, monsieur.
Well, what do you want around the dock, anyway?
I wanted to see the captain of this vessel.
Oh, the captain, eh? Well, I'm the captain. Speak up.
I hear you're sailing for the West Indies, monsieur.
Yes, we're casting off at the turn of the tide.
That is great, sir. I was hoping you would.
What's it to you, if I may ask?
I'm so eager to go to sea, sir. I've been looking forward to it for a long time.
And you have a mind to go with us, huh?
Yes, sir. I want to ship aboard as cabin boy.
Now, how do you know I need one?
I keep my ears open, sir.
Now, even if I do need a cabin boy, I need a good one, and you're only a half-pint lad.
I'm 14, and I'm strong. See, sir? Look at my arm.
No, boy. I'd rather be short-handed than lose the use of another man who would have to keep an eye on you.
I can keep an eye on myself, sir.
Yes, but you only have one eye. You seem to be blind on the right side.
But they say I can see more with my one eye, sir, than most men can with two.
Well, you seem likely enough and set on going.
Yes, sir, I am.
And I do need a cabin boy, and... Wait a minute now. I'm not getting into any trouble with your folks helping you to run away to sea, am I?
No, sir. My mother's dead.
Oh, so you're an orphan, huh?
Well, almost, sir. My father's a merchant and an officer in the Naval Reserve.
Well, no wonder you've got a mind for the sea.
Yes, sir. And I've even got a little money to buy a share in the cargo.
Well, if you were set on being a merchant adventurer, you come along then and be done with it. So come on now, get on board and stow your dunnage.
Aye, aye, sir. Right away, sir.
Wait. What's your name?
Stephen Girard, sir. And thank you.
In the next few years, young Stephen sailed the Atlantic from France to the West Indies and up the coast of the British colonies in America. He lost no opportunity to improve himself, and in the next 12 years became a licensed pilot, a ship's officer, and finally, at 26, master of his own ship. In 1776, we find him on his own quarterdeck, sailing north past Cape Henlopen into Delaware Bay.
Captain Girard?
Yes, mate?
Pardon, but are you not putting too far up into the bay, sir?
Well, mate, I don't know any way of going up the river until you've gone all the way up its bay.
But our cargo is marked for New York.
I'm putting ashore in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, sir? Why, what will your shippers say?
They'll say thank you and lucky to get the cargo landed safely.
I did not realize the ship was so badly battered in that Cape Hatteras storm not to make New York.
The storm was bad enough, but there's worse lying ahead.
What could be worse?
A British blockade.
Are we? I had forgotten the blockade, sir. Do you suppose the colonies will try to become independent of Great Britain?
Yes, they have a chance of succeeding, as long as the British are outsailed.
You really believe that, sir?
So much so, mate, that I am planning to settle in this new country and throw my lot in with hers. That ship we outpointed to windward, rounding the Cape, was a British blockader.
Are we?
Passing her like that was an omen. You didn't know it, my friend, but I was saving my own property. I am no longer working for the shippers.
Raymond.
This is my own vessel. The cargo is mine. When we land in America, you and the rest of the crew can return to France at my expense. But I am going to settle in Philadelphia till the blockade is over.
For a time, Girard settled at Mount Holly, New Jersey. Then he opened a store in Philadelphia. Gradually, his business grew, and he yearned for peace, so he could again send cargoes to sea in his own stout vessels. One day in the spring of 1777, Gerard is browsing around a shipyard on the banks of the Delaware. It is warm and he is thirsty. At a pump nearby, he sees a young woman.
Pardon, mademoiselle. Let me work the pump handle for you.
Thank you, but I've got the water flowing. It's no trouble to keep it going.
Oh, please. It is easier for me than for you.
All right, thank you.
Why is a lovely young woman like you fetching water in a shipyard?
No one has a better right. My father's the shipbuilder here.
Oh? Well, then we ought to know each other better. My name is Stephen Gerard.
I'm Mary Lum. Well, Mr. Gerard, you can stop pumping now. The pail's running over.
What? So it is. Oh, where shall I carry it for you?
Oh, I can manage very well myself, thank you.
You Americans are all alike. So independent.
Aren't you an American?
No. Is there any reason why I should be?
I can think of many. But it's none of my business.
I wish it were. I can think of one thing that would make an American of me.
What's that?
If I had a home here.
Why haven't you?
It needs a wife to make a home.
There are plenty of girls in America who can do that.
I only look for one.
Well, sir, I hope you find her.
I have a strange premonition that perhaps I have.
Stephen Gerard and Mary Lum were married that June. And the next year, Gerard became a citizen of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. After American independence had been recognized abroad, he bought and built several fine brigs and sent his cargoes to every port in the world. And through good judgment and skillful organization, he amassed a fortune. It is 1793. Philadelphia is the capital of the United States, and Washington is president. Gerard, a widower now in vigorous middle age, sits in his office on Water Street. One of his supercargoes, a young man who acted as his commercial representative during a voyage, has just landed. He enters Gerard's office to make his report.
Well, Brent, welcome home. How was the voyage?
Very successful, sir.
But they say conditions in France are very bad. And where is the detailed report from my agent in Bordeaux?
We didn't touch at Bordeaux, sir.
What? But those were my orders.
Yes, sir, I know, sir, but when we drew near France, we exchanged news with a ship returning to Boston and heard that the revolution there had burst all bounds and that everything was in chaos. So I ordered the captain to change his course to the north, and we put in at Bremerhaven.
You disregarded my orders?
Yes, sir. And a lucky thing I did. The market conditions were wonderfully favorable in Germany. I disposed of the whole cargo for 3 times what it could possibly have brought in France.
But my ship Voltaire was in Bremerhaven.
Yes, sir. We divided the cargo between us because there wasn't enough for both of us.
Because you disobeyed orders.
But I made you a fortune, sir, and perhaps even saved the ship and cargo from confiscation in France.
But you've muddled my plans for my fleet. It'll take over a year to straighten them out.
Well, the profit was so great, I couldn't see how it could possibly be a mistake.
I overlook mistakes. But I have built up my business on absolute obedience to my orders. My success is built on my organization and on the speed with which I can act on shifting marks in every part of the world. I'd rather lose a whole cargo and a ship, too, than feel at any time that I didn't know where that ship was bound and what she'd do when she got there. There was a letter waiting for you in Bordeaux that would be worth 6 cargoes.
Oh, I'll get it, sir, on the next voyage.
There will be no next voyage for you, Mr. Brent.
You mean, you have no further use for me?
You will get your account settled and be paid off at once.
But, Mr. Gerard, what'll do?
Try to get your own ship and your own cargo. Perhaps then you will be able to follow your own judgment. But if you ever send out a supercargo of your own, I'm sure you'll tell him what I tell you. Break the owners, not your orders.
I think I understand now, sir.
Then I'll be glad to put in a good word for you, or help you with your own venture in your own ship.
Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, that's very generous of you, sir.
Well, it's what I consider a good business. On your own, I believe you'll be a keen merchant. If you need my help, let me know.
Well, thank you, sir. I will.
Is Mr. Gerard in there?
Yes, Mr. Helm, but I don't think he wants to be disturbed.
He must be disturbed. Oh, Mr. Gerard.
Yes? Ah, Helm, come in, come in. Shut the door as you go, Brent.
Yes, sir.
Well, Helm, how is business? How are you?
I'm well, thank heaven. But I wish I could say as much for our fellow citizens.
Well, what do you mean?
Yellow fever.
Yellow fever again? Well, I've been so busy I didn't know. Is it bad?
Looks like the worst we've ever had. The overseers of the poor have more than they can handle already. They've asked us merchants to help. I volunteered.
Yellow fever. And it's over 2 months till frost.
By that time, the Lord knows what'll happen. Already the people are in a panic. The government is moving far out of town along the Schuylkill, keeping to the high ground.
And the streets ought to be cleaned at once. What is being done to clear up the filth around the Waterford?
Nothing. You must help us, Gerard. You must do something.
What has been suggested?
There's to be a meeting tonight to discuss ways and means.
Ways and means? What we need is action.
What we need is volunteers. People who have some knowledge of this pestilence from the West Indies. Men who can take things calmly, not go around filling those who are well with panic and those who are sick with despair. We need volunteers like you, Gerard.
I am ready.
But, Gerard, your business...
That can wait. The yellow fever will not.
On September 12th, a special meeting of citizens organized an emergency committee of 21 to augment the overworked overseers of the poor. Stephen Gerard volunteered for the most dangerous work of all, the management of the city hospital on Bush Hill, or the pest house as it was called. In his usual efficient, practical way, he immediately orders many changes made in the treatment of the sick, and this quickly brings a protest from William Curry, a member of the committee.
Mr. Gerard, I must protest against your giving orders for the treatment of the sick.
Indeed, Curry. I was not aware that you were opposed to their being cured.
Why, of course, I'm not opposed to that. I'm opposed to your methods.
My dear sir, that is heartless. I have spent many years in the West Indies, whence this horrible sickness comes to us.
Perhaps carried by your own ship, sir.
Yes, perhaps by my own ships. And because our waterfront is filthy and neglected, the fever breeds easily there and spreads.
Like any contagion?
Yellow fever does not spread by contagion.
How then does it spread?
I don't know. But in the Indies, we know it is not contagious.
You are wrong. It is so contagious, it can be caught at a distance of 10 feet. The doctors say...
They can say 1,000 things I can't prove are wrong, and they can't prove are right. Meanwhile, nothing would be accomplished. It isn't decent for us to quarrel when so many people are in agony.
Then you persist in ordering this treatment here?
No. I merely forbid harassing and disturbing poor people that are fighting against the ravages of this malignant fever.
I must still protest against a mere merchant giving orders to physicians in a hospital.
This is an emergency.
I shall take this up at the next meeting of our registered physicians.
As you wish. And meanwhile, please notify them that I am appointing Dr. Jean Devez as head physician on the hospital staff.
Who is he? I never heard of him.
You will, Curry. He is a refugee from the late uprising in San Domingo. And he knows more about yellow fever than all of us put together.
But he is not a Philadelphian. You can't put him in charge of our staff. They'll resign.
They will not be so rash as to refuse to help the sick on that account.
Your mind is set on appointing Dr. Devez?
It is. Please tell your committee.
I shall. They'll never stand for this, I assure you, sir.
I think you underestimate her humanity. And besides, not all of them are ambitious to be head of this hospital.
Mr. Gerard, I resent that. Please be so good as to accept my resignation effective immediately.
My dear Curry, I shall do nothing of the sort. Nor can you.
And why not?
Because, from our duty to our fellow men, no man can resign.
During the 2 months the scourge was at its height, Stephen Gerard not only supervised the management of the place, but personally tended the sick, often doing the most humble duties of a hospital orderly. When the danger had passed, he returned to his neglected business. He built new ships, bought real estate, and extended his banking connections. One morning in the spring of 1810, his fellow citizen David Parrish calls on him.
Good morning, Gerard.
Hello, Parrish. What brings you downtown so bright and early?
Because I knew I'd find you at work no matter how early I get here. Don't you ever rest?
No. I spell rest with a U. To rest is to rust.
Haven't you money and power enough?
It isn't the money I'm after, it's sleep. I work hard so I can sleep at night. It's a habit I learned as an orphan. I had no other education but work.
Well, I hope you're not too occupied with business this morning.
But I am. I have just received a dispatch from Amsterdam.
What's the news?
Napoleon has annexed Holland.
What? Well, then all Europe is closed to our commerce.
Yes. And my fine ship Montesquieu is loaded and ready to sail.
You're lucky she isn't already on the high seas.
She soon will be.
But where'll you send her?
To Valparaiso first, then to Canton.
Good heaven, Gerard. What daring.
No, Parrish. Hardly any risk at all. I have already had excellent results in the Pacific trade from the Voltaire.
And you certainly know your markets. Tell me, why do you name ships after the French philosophers?
I admire Voltaire, Montesquieu, and Rousseau above all men.
Because they're Frenchmen?
No. Because they had the vision that we in America have made a reality.
Don't you intend to go back to your native land when you retire?
Why should I? I am an American citizen by choice, and I'll die one.
Well, I have news that may make you change your mind.
You cannot bring me any news that will do that.
Remember our petition to Congress about renewing the charter of your United States Bank?
Yes, of course.
Well, the petition has been denied.
There will be no national bank?
It must be dissolved when the charter expires next year.
But we must have a bank. A strong, powerful bank. How else can the merchants of Philadelphia maintain the huge credits needed for doing our business all over the world?
We'll have to use one of the 4 state banks here.
Not strong enough. Scarcely known abroad.
You see how your country acknowledges your loyalty and runs you out of business.
Not so easily as that.
What do you propose to do?
When the United States Bank is forced to close, I'll buy its building and all its assets.
That will cost over $1 million.
It'll be worth it. I can't think of any better way to spend the money.
Who'll head that bank?
I will. I'll call it the Bank of Stephen Girard.
In that case, sir, it will have unlimited credit in every corner of the globe.
The immediate and great prestige won by Stephen Girard's bank naturally invited the envy and hostility of the 4 principal banks in Philadelphia. They tried law to close him out, but the state courts upheld his right to engage in private banking. In 1812, the United States government tried to float a huge loan. The loan failed dismally, and the government was in a bad position. The Secretary of the Treasury at that time is the famous Albert Gallatin. Early in April, Stephen Girard and his friend David Parrish enter Gallatin's office and are stopped by a clerk.
Is there anything I can do for you, gentlemen?
We want to see the Secretary of the Treasury.
Your names, please.
David Parrish and Stephen Girard.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll tell him at once, sir. Please, take chairs.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yeah, apparently money talks.
Yes, Parrish. But maybe our dulcet banknotes will fall on deaf ears. Maybe you brought me on a wild goose chase.
There was a rumor on the exchange yesterday that the government is practically without funds.
That's almost unbelievable. The credit of a country like this ought to be unlimited.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Mr. Gallatin will see you at once.
Splendid.
This way, please. Right through this door. Mr. Parrish and Mr. Girard. Gentlemen, I am glad to see you.
Very glad. How do you do, sir? I don't believe you've met your former fellow countryman, Mr. Girard.
I have looked forward to it. I am delighted, sir.
We are still fellow countrymen, I think, in America. I am honored to make your acquaintance.
I am afraid I will soon be quite without honor in this country, sir. The new government loan is a complete failure.
Perhaps it's too soon to say that, sir.
No, Mr. Parrish. We have raised only $6 million. There is yet another $10 million to raise. We might as well try to raise the bottom of the ocean. All possible sources have been exhausted.
All except one, Mr. Gallatin.
Indeed?
Yes. A private syndicate I have formed with John Jacob Astor and Stephen Girard.
What?
The two richest men in America were prepared to bid on the loan, though the largest burden falls on Gerard.
How much of it will you subscribe?
All of it, Mr. Gallagher?
The whole 10 million?
Yes.
We'll finance it through Gerard's bank.
You believe you can sell it to the public?
Gerard's endorsement will go a long way with the people.
What is not disposed of, I am perfectly willing to hold.
I have no words to express my gratitude. The government will be eternally in your debt. I mean that figuratively, of course, for the loan will be paid off in full when...
Both Astor and I am confident of that. I believe there is no better investment in the world than America.
And I agree. It is strange that we three, you, Parrish, and I, who were born on the European continent, should have more faith in our adopted country than many whose families have lived here nearly 200 years.
You at least have served the nation well, Mr. Gallatin. But I am only a private citizen.
Many of us serve the government as best we can in public office, Mr. Gerard. But you serve your country better than us all, as the perfect citizen.
When Stephen Gerard died in 1831 without wife or children, he left an immense fortune and the result of his extraordinary judgment and endless labor to be used for the good of the general public. Today, Gerard College in the city of Philadelphia stands as a lasting and living monument to its founder, whose life of service and devotion to the public good still lives after him in the lives of others. As an ideal citizen and loyal American, he holds an honorable place in the Cavalcade of America.
More than 135,000 people gathered near Columbus, Ohio last summer to see a young farmer from Iowa defeat all rivals and win the corn-husking championship of the United States. His winning speed was 1,472 pounds in an 80-minute period. That's fast work. Yet if he could carry on at top speed 8 hours a day, it would take him 28 years to supply the corn products needed by the DuPont Company in a single year. What, you may ask, happens to all these corn products? One of the most important uses is in finishes such as Duco. These finishes protect and beautify your furniture and household appliances such as clocks, washing machines, scales, and carpet sweepers. They make the gleaming beauty of your automobile last longer. They serve business on all sorts of office devices such as typewriters, bookkeeping equipment, and cash registers. Chemists have developed more than 100 commercial uses for corn products, ranging from the dry ice that keeps ice cream from melting to dynamite, that mighty worker that builds our dams and tunnels, drains swamps, mines coal and ore, and clears fields of stumps and boulders. And corn is but one of many agricultural materials which the chemist has utilized in creating valuable new products. For example, every year, DuPont turns more than 65 million pounds of cotton and cotton linters into plastics, photographic film, and other articles that don't even remotely resemble a piece of cloth. Thousands of acres of land are now engaged in raising soybeans, flaxseed, tung nuts, and other agricultural raw materials for chemical products. Indeed, chemistry has become one of the farmers' best customers. Yet the benefits of this new partnership extend far beyond any single group. The chemist is using farm crops to create new comforts and conveniences for everyone, improving existing products or creating new ones, thereby continuing to provide, as DuPont phrases it, better things for better living through chemistry. The life of James Fenimore Cooper, pioneer among American novelists, with dramatic scenes from one of his most famous stories, will be the subject of the broadcast when next week at this same time, DuPont again presents the Cavalcade of America. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to C/GAR, Brought to you by G3PL.com.
From Hollywood, California, the Lux Radio Theater presents Miriam Hopkins and Henry Fonda in Mary Burns' Fugitive, with Mary Astor and Paul Guilfoyle.
Lux presents Hollywood. Our play, the drama of an innocent girl pursued by both a gangster and the law, and how at last true love comes to Mary Burns' Fugitive. Our cordial thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, who, by your loyalty to our products, Lux Toilet Soap and Lux Flakes, have made these programs possible. For every time you purchase a cake of Lux Toilet Soap or a package of Lux Flakes, you not only are telling us that you appreciate our performances, but you also are enabling us to continue these performances. So again, we say thank you. Tonight, our program stars Miriam Hopkins, Henry Fonda, Mary Astor, and Paul Guilfoyle. Our music is directed by Louis Silvers. And as special guest, we bring you Hollywood's internationally known stylist, Mr. Travis Benton. This evening, we have a special announcement to make to all the women in our audience, and the men, too, for that matter. But we're going to hold this announcement until the end of our program. So don't fail to keep your radio turned on until the very end of this hour, or I know you'll be greatly disappointed if you miss this announcement. I'm very happy to report that our regular producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille, is rapidly recovering from his illness and will soon be back in the Lux Radio Theater. I'm equally pleased to be able to introduce again, as guest producer, the star of so many of your favorite screen classics. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Edward Arnold.
Thank you, Melville Ruick, and good evening, everyone. Of the stars on our stage tonight, Mary Astor is the only one whose success on the screen is the fulfillment of childhood ambitions. Miriam Hopkins wanted to be a dancer. Mr. Fonda, a journalist, and Paul Guilfoyle spent the days of his youth concentrating on architecture. It was a broken ankle that led Miss Hopkins to fame. When the fracture put an end to her dancing, she took up the new career of acting. The break proved a lucky one indeed. An immediate hit on Broadway, she starred there last in Jezebel, the screen version of which happens to be Henry Fonda's current success. Miss Hopkins' ability, together with her blonde and blue-eyed beauty, finds her today firmly entrenched among the screen's top-notch favorites as a Samuel Goldwyn star. A chance visit to a little theater in Omaha made Henry Fonda completely forget printer's ink in favor of grease paint, though recognition didn't come until he appeared in New York in The Farmer Takes a Wife. Whisked to Hollywood, his star has ascended without interruption. He's with us this week straight from the set of Walter Ranger's The Adventurers. Mary Astor is in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer film Paradise for Three. We want to thank Paramount for tonight's play, which we have adapted from their picture. Right now, they are busy over there starring Sylvia Sidney in You and Me, which is another promising dramatic film. Tonight, we hear Miss Hopkins in the title role. Henry Fonda plays Alec MacDonald. Miss Astor is heard as Goldie, and Paul Guilfoyle, who is rapidly ascending the heights at RKO Studios, where he's played a heavy role in every one of his last three films, and proves that he likes this type of character by enacting another such part tonight, that of Don Mason. And now, it's curtain time. The Lux Radio Theater presents Miriam Hopkins and Henry Fonda in Mary Burns' Fugitive, with Mary Astor and Paul Guilfoyle. On the outskirts of a quiet little town in Maine, an attractive roadside coffee shop borders the state highway. It's a bright May morning. Behind the polished wood counter, Mary Burns, the owner of the shop, is cheerfully waiting on our early customers.
How about another cup of coffee, Mary?
Sure, coming up.
Say, it smells good. We should learn my wife to make coffee like this. Hern tastes like it was made in a rubber boot. Why don't you teach her?
Well, if I did, I'd lose your business.
Check, please.
It's under your plate, mister.
Oh, thanks.
Come again.
I will. Morning.
Hiya, Mary.
Oh, hello, Steve. What'll it be, breakfast?
No, I've been up since pretty early. How about that barbecue of beef, pickles and onions?
One bar beef dressed up.
Look mighty pretty today, Mary.
Thanks. Steve, I've been wanting to talk for you to come in. Will you do me a favor?
Well, you give me a cup of coffee and I'll consider it.
Okay. I'm expecting a visitor today.
Oh, that young feller that comes around the gray roadster?
Yes, now look, Steve, from your service station, you can see way down the road. If you see the roadster coming along, will you yell or something so I can fix up?
Sure, I'll honk my horn 3 times. Hey, how about some cream?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. When I was young, keeping steady company, I used to get absent-minded myself.
Well, I wouldn't say Don and I were keeping steady company. I only see him once every 3 or 4 weeks.
What kind of business is he in, Mary?
He's in the oil business. That's what keeps him traveling around so much.
Oh, when you plan to get married?
I don't know. We haven't thought much about it yet.
Well, you take a tip from me. You nab him quick before some of the other girls in this town lay eyes on him.
Oh, I'm not worrying. Don's used to girls being crazy about him. He was a pretty big shot in college. All-American halfback. I'm not worrying.
Nice to feel so sure of yourself. You met any of his folks yet?
Why, no, I haven't. Oh, but that doesn't matter because I've met him. Don't forget, Steve. When you see the gray roadster, honk 3 times, will you?
Okay.
Hey, Don, don't you ever get tired? You've been murdering that thing ever since we left New York. I'm getting fed up.
Stick to your driving. That's a love song, Joe. Haven't you ever been in love?
No, I ain't. I'm too smart.
Wait till you see Mary.
I've been hearing enough about her. She's certainly got you hanging on the ropes.
You know, you lack imagination, Joe. Did you ever hear of Romeo and Juliet? Antony and Cleopatra?
Yeah. With all the beautiful dames on Broadway, why do you want to marry a hillbilly that lives 100 miles from no place?
Not want to, Joe. Going to. You know, you just don't appreciate girls like Mary.
I know enough to leave them alone when I've got more important things to do.
Well, I don't. There's nothing more important to me right now than Mary, and this is the last time I'm going to tell you.
Okay. Take it easy, Don. I didn't mean
Save it. Well, this is the town. Pull into that service station up the road.
Morning? Ethel or regular?
Ethel, fill her up. And check the spark plugs, will you? She's missing on the grade.
Yes, sir.
Don?
Mary, I was just coming over.
Oh, Don, I'm so glad to see you.
You're glad. What do you think about me? Mary, this is Joe.
Hello.
Hello. Come on, Mary.
Hey, where you going?
We're going to take a walk down to the lake where we can have some privacy. Keep your eye on that suitcase, Joe.
Don, stand still a minute. Let me look at you.
You like what you see?
Mm-hmm.
Been a long time, Mary.
A lifetime. I thought you were never coming back.
I've been busy. But I got some news for you this time. Can you stand a shock?
An earthquake.
We're going to Canada to spend our honeymoon.
Honeymoon?
Or did I forget to tell you that we were going to be married?
Oh, Don.
Tonight. By the first minister we can find.
Tonight?
Yes. Listen, Mary. I have to be in Canada tomorrow. It means a lot of money that... Well, it's what I've been working for all along. For you.
But, Don, we could wait a little. You'll be back.
Not for months. Maybe never. Are you going to let me go alone?
But the coffee shop.
Oh, forget it. Give it away. We'll have plenty of money from now on. You won't need it. What do you say?
Don, you're the craziest man I ever met. I guess that's why I love you, sir.
Then it's settled. You're coming with me.
Well, I don't see what else I could...
Don.
What is it? What's the matter, Joe?
The trailers. I told you they would. We should have hit for Canada instead of coming up here.
Shut up.
Don, what...
Where's the car?
The spark plugs are out. I've got the suitcase.
We'll make a run for the coffee shop. Come on.
Don, what is it?
Never mind the talking. Pick up your feet.
But I want to know.
Get in there, quick. Lock the door. Mary, bolt those windows.
Don, what's wrong? What is this? What are you running away from?
Never mind the talk now. Get away from that window.
Oh.
Hold them off, Joe. I'll kick up a fire and get rid of the bonds. Mary, where's the kerosene?
Oh, over there.
Oh, don't stand there. Get it.
Here they come. There's a raft of them.
Local police?
No, G-Man.
Let them have it. You got to keep them out of here a while. Keep down. Here, give me that can. Duck down. Stay out of sight. We can handle them. Mary, get the bonds out of the suitcase and burn them.
Bonds, what are you...
Don't ask any questions.
Don!
What is it? They got me. You fool, I told you to stay down. You got to make a break for it. Come on, out the back way.
You'll have to help me. I can't. My leg.
Oh, he's hurt.
You mean you can't run?
My leg. I can't make it alone.
You're out of luck, Joe.
No! You can't leave me. Don't let those G guys get me. I'll squeal before they give me the hot seat. So help me, I'll squeal.
Oh, no, you won't. You won't squeal ever.
What? No! I didn't mean it. Honest, I didn't mean it. I won't squeal. I won't.
I'm making sure you won't.
He's dead. You killed him.
control of yourself. Listen to me. I'm beating it, see? I got to. But no matter what happens, don't you double-cross me, Mary. I'll be back for you. You're mine. Nobody else's. Remember that. Goodbye, kid.
Get your paper. Mason escapes police team and arrest Mary Burns. Paper.
Paper, gangster sweetheart arrested. Paper. Mary finds indicted as Mason accomplice. Paper. Yeah, read all about it. Mary Burns goes to trial. Paper.
Mary Burns on stand today. Paper.
And is it not true, Miss Burns, that you intended to marry Don Mason?
But I didn't know he was a gangster.
The question is, did you intend to marry him?
Yes.
I see. Did he ever tell you he was wanted for killing a cashier and looting a federal bank?
No.
Where did you think he got his money?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know? You planned to marry him, yet it never occurred to you to ask him.
But
Answer the question, yes or no?
Yes.
At the time of your arrest, you admit that Mason was burning negotiable bonds in your coffee shop. Yet you stated you didn't know those bonds were stolen.
No, I didn't.
Then why did you think he was burning them?
Well,
You didn't know the bonds were stolen, yet you let them burn. Did you try to extinguish the flames?
No.
Then you did know they were stolen, and you did know that you were helping a criminal to destroy evidence.
Why,
Can you deny that you were aiding a criminal to destroy evidence?
But please,
Is it not true that your sweetheart used the protection of your coffee shop while he tried to shoot down the officers of the law? Is it not true? Answer yes or no.
Yes!
Then you do admit you did aid him in the destruction of evidence, that you did harbor and protect him against the forces of the law.
Yes! I've done all those things. I'm guilty. If you want me to say it, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. You can send me to jail if you want to. I don't care anymore. I don't care.
This is not merely an indictment against an individual, but against a system. Mary Burns, you have been found guilty of aiding, abetting, and harboring a criminal. And of you, an example must be made once and for all. For you are as much a criminal as the criminal himself, with gun in hand and murder in his heart. This court, having found you guilty, prescribes the maximum penalty provided by law. Mary Burns, I sentence you to the penitentiary for a term of 15 years.
15 years? 15 years!
Halt! Face yourselves. Forward!
Mary. Mary.
What?
All right, kid, we can talk now. All the little jailbirds are allowed to twitter in their cages until they turn the lights out on us.
Yeah,
How'd it go today, kid?
just like yesterday. And the day before. And the day before that. I wonder how long I've been here.
You said about 6 weeks when they first put me in with you. That's 2 months ago.
3.5 months. Seems longer.
Oh, you'll get used to it.
I'll never get used to seeing women caged up like animals, robbed of everything that belongs to them, everything they were put on earth for. Home, children. I'll never get used to that, Goldie.
I know how you feel, kid. You know, I've always wondered how a nice country girl like you got mixed up with a tough hombre like Mason. It don't make sense.
Made sense enough to bury me alive for 15 years.
Number 17255.
That's you, Mary. Matron's calling you.
Mary Burns?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you answer?
I've got some news for you, Mary. Mr. Cameron of the Prison Parole Board has taken a personal interest in your case. He'll be here tomorrow to talk to you. I'll take you to the warden's office before breakfast.
Thank you. Goldie, did you hear that?
It's a great break for you, Mary. Play ball with them. Tell them everything they want to know. It's your one chance of getting out of here before 1953.
And I'm quite sure, Mary, that I can practically promise you a parole in return for certain information.
Oh, I'll tell you anything I can, Mr. Cameron.
Good. Now, we want to know where Mason hides out, who his friends are, all about him.
But I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Mary, you're lying. Mason was in love with you. You were his girl. He must have given you his entire confidence.
But he didn't. Honest, he didn't.
Mary, why do you sacrifice your freedom to protect this murderer? He's not worth your love.
I don't love him. I hate him. I've hated him ever since that day I saw him kill a man. Don't you understand? I saw him kill a man.
Then if you hate him, prove it. Every moment Mason is free, innocent people are endangered. The man's an egomaniac. He'll do anything to get his picture in the papers. He'll rob. He'll kill. He's doing it now, and you can stop him.
You've no right to put me on trial again. I never knew he was a murderer. He said he loved men. I thought I loved him. But I don't. I don't.
And you won't help me. You won't tell.
I can't. Because I don't know.
Very well. Matron?
Yes, sir?
Take Miss Burns back to her cell.
Mary, will you quit that walking up and down? You're driving me nuts.
I'm sorry.
I got enough on my mind today. You ain't the only one who wants to get out of this joint.
Goldie.
What?
Goldie, what is it? You've been staring out of that window all afternoon.
What if I have?
What is it, Goldie? You're not figuring on that breakup.
Shut up. Come over here. See that motorboat anchored down there in the river?
Yes.
I'll be on that boat tonight.
You're going to try it?
I'm going to make it. I got friends on the outside, kid.
Oh, Goldie.
And I'm a...
Goldie, you've got to take me with you.
Nothing doing.
You've got
Shut
to.
up, I tell you. It's too big a chance.
Goldie, please, you can't leave me here. It's the only way left.
It'd be twice as hard for two of us.
Well, if you don't take me...
You'll squeal, huh?
I'd do anything rather than stay here another day. Oh, Goldie, please.
Well, all right, kid. But you know what it means if we're caught? They'll give it to us in the back.
I know.
I've been planning this for weeks. That's why I faked spraining my arm.
Faked it?
Sure. I just wanted to get a hold of some adhesive tape. Come on, start yanking it off.
What for?
We're going to need it when the matron makes her night rounds.
What do we do?
Well, here's the setup. Around 11 o'clock, the matron starts making her rounds. We'll hear her coming, and you'll be set. She'll come in. Matron?
Who's that?
Goldie Gordon.
What's the matter?
It's Mary, matron. She's sick. I think she's got a fever.
Oh, I'll take a look at her.
She's over here.
Mary. Why, Mary, what's the...
Shh, she's out. She hit her head on the floor.
She isn't. Are you sure? You're sure you
No,
didn't?
she's all right. Hold her arms in back of her. I'll tape her up.
We've got to work fast, Goldie.
Put a strip on her mouth. We don't want her yelling when she comes to.
No.
There, that'll hold her long enough. Now, help me shove her under the bed. Now, come on. Through the yard, Mary. Make for the wall. And if a searchlight hits you, start... Almost there, kid. Keep in the shadow.
There goes the gate open. The milk truck's coming through.
Here we go, kid. Ready?
Ready.
Come on.
Who's there? Halt! Halt!
Keep going, Mary! Don't stop!
And so the curtain falls on Act One of Mary Burns' Fugitive. In a moment, our stars will be back for Act Two. Meantime, here's a chance to test yourself on how up-to-date you are, on how much you know about the new expressions the young people are using nowadays. I'm going to ask a young high school girl in our audience to help me out in this little adventure. Miss Crow, let's start in this way. Suppose you met a very charming girl, beautifully dressed, and noticed that her slip showed an inch or two below the skirt of her frock. What would you say?
Well, Mr. Ruick, I'd say, it's snowing down south.
The younger generation always has a phrase for it.
Or you might say, you're dragging anchor.
Oh, a nautical twist, eh?
Yes, sir. Like a friend of mine from Ohio says, USA.
USA? That's the United States of America, isn't it?
In this case, it means undies showing awful.
Well, well, live and learn. But whether a slip shows or not, the fastidious woman of today insists on its being dainty, fresh, and lovely looking. And that is why women are so grateful to Lux Flakes. These gentle, magical flakes remove perspiration completely, and at the same time leave color and fabric fresh and bright. For their own peace of mind, in order to be sure they don't offend, dainty women Lux lingerie after each wearing, Anything safe in water, you know, is safe in Lux Flakes. May I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that at the very end of the program, we have an announcement to make of unusual interest. And may I suggest you have pencil and paper ready. And now, Edward Arnold.
Miriam Hopkins, Henry Fonda, Mary Astor, and Paul Guilfoyle continue in Mary Burns' Fugitive. Several weeks have passed since Mary and Goldie Gordon made good their break from prison. In a mountain hideaway, one of Don Mason's henchmen reads him a newspaper account of the escape and the search which is still going on.
As yet, no trace has been found of the gangster's sweetheart. But police and federal officers are following every lead and promise an early arrest. She sure got nerve, boss, cracking out a stir like that. She must have plenty of money, huh?
No. That's why I don't like it.
Like what?
The whole escape, everything about it. It's a phony, Luigi. They framed it for my benefit.
Huh?
Sure. They're using her for bait to trap me. Can't you see it?
Yeah, sure, that's it.
They think she knows where I am, and the first thing she'll do is come to me. Oh, the poor kid. You know, she's probably going nuts wondering what's happened to me. I'd give my right arm if I knew how to get to her.
Yeah, and maybe your life, too.
I'll find her, though. And I'll beat them at their own game. I'll snatch her right out from under their noses, the chumps.
Mary, where you been? I've been worried about you.
It's all right, Goldie. I found a job.
A job?
Yeah, in the kitchen of the Mercy Hospital. I start tonight on the 9 o'clock shift.
Well, you must be crazy. You'll be picked up before daylight.
But, Goldie, we're broke. I had to take a chance. I'm using the name of Alice Brown. I had to do it, Goldie.
There's only one thing you had to do, and you won't do it.
Goldie, please. I've told you over and over I don't know where Mason is. And if I did, I wouldn't go to him if we stalled.
Don't give me any of that. Why do you think I let you make the break with me?
Oh, Goldie, please.
Don't Goldie me. You're not talking to the prison board or any coppers. You're talking to the dame that sprung you, the dame that's been keeping you ever since. It's time you do something for me now. Mason's rolling in dough, big dough. And there's nobody he'd rather give it to than you.
I'd rather die.
Well, I wouldn't. I'm through sneaking along alleys, hiding in this rat hole, eating this garbage, when all the time we could be living like human beings.
You and all the law can't make a crook out of me.
You double-crossing little heel, after all I've done for you.
Goldie.
I'm sorry I did that, kid.
It's all right. Forget it. I got to get back to the hospital. Good night, Goldie.
Night. You can come out now, Mr. Cameron.
Any chance of her coming back?
No. Well, you heard her. She don't know where Mason is.
Maybe she's suspicious of you.
No, she ain't. I've been careful.
All right. We'll have to change our tactics a little.
Well?
We'll have to make Mason come to Mary Burns.
How?
Through you. The underworld knows you as an escaped convict. You've got to plant the information somewhere that Burns is hiding here, waiting for Mason to contact her. Can you do it?
I'll do anything for a parole.
All right, then. Get busy.
Alice Brown. Oh, I didn't hear you come in, Miss Jennings. You frightened me.
I called you loud enough. Seems to me you're awfully jumpy. Never mind cleaning that up now. My patient wants some coffee right away.
Another cup? This is his third, isn't it?
He says it's the only good coffee he's had since he came here. You bring it up to him. I'm expecting a phone call.
I'll be glad to.
Just put the tray on his table and don't speak to him. He can't stand the sound of women's voices. I think his operation left him a little peculiar.
Oh, what's the matter with him?
Well, so far as I can find out, he came near blowing himself up in some kind of a chemical explosion. He can't see yet, so put the tray where he can reach it easily.
All right.
It's room 314 at the end of the corridor. Tell him I'll be up.
Come in. Who is it?
It's your coffee.
Oh, thanks. Let's have it, will you? No cream or sugar?
No.
Good. Smells like coffee. Tastes like coffee, I hope. It is coffee.
I'm glad you like it.
Say, you're not my nurse.
No.
Who are you?
I'm sorry. Your nurse told me not to talk to you.
Why? Why did she say that?
Well, she said you didn't like the sound of women's voices.
Oh. Did you ever listen to Miss Jennings' voice?
Why, yes.
Well, there's your answer. I was never conscious of funny noises until they put this bandage on my eyes. Her voice isn't exactly soothing. But yours is, so go ahead and talk.
Thank you.
You know, if I ever get married, it'll be to a girl who makes coffee like this. Delicious. What's the matter? What are you laughing at?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry for a laugh like yours. But you didn't answer my question.
Well, I laughed because I'm the girl who made the coffee.
Are you? Well, you're the world's champion coffee maker, and I'm the world's champion coffee drinker. How do you do? My name's McDonald. What's yours?
It's Alice Brown. I work in the kitchen. I've got to get back now.
Will you bring me some more coffee later?
Well, I'll make as much as you want.
That wasn't what I said. I asked if you'd bring me some.
I'll see what I can do. Miss Brown?
Yes, Miss Jennings.
Are you going back in there for that tray?
Why, no, I was just coming out.
Don't bother. I'll go in and get it myself. You get back to the kitchen.
Yes, Miss Jennings.
Oh, back so soon? Come here. You know, you're a very nice girl.
Why, Mr. McDonald.
Oh. Yes, put down on my chart that my mind wanders at times. And there I was lying here, day in and day out, drinking mud. And then you came along. I'll never forget you for this, Alice Brown.
I'm glad. How are your eyes today?
They hurt a little.
Oh, that's because they're getting better.
I hope so. The doctor's going to take the bandages off in a couple of weeks, and we'll know whether or not I'll ever see again.
Oh, you will, I'm sure of it.
Maybe. I'd like to be able to work again.
Work? After what happened?
What's a little explosion between scientists? I'll probably blow the roof off the lab someday. Want to come around and watch?
No, thanks. I'd better get back now.
No, not yet. Sit down.
I can't. If the superintendent sees me
Let
here...
her. Doctor said I was to be humored and everything. All right, I'm being humored. You know, Alice, I can't see you, but if you're anything like your voice, you're very lovely.
You might be disappointed.
I don't think so. When I lie awake at night, I try to picture what you look like. I imagine you're rather tiny. What color eyes have you?
Blue.
And your hair's a lovely chestnut.
No, much lighter.
Well, there's one thing I'm sure of. There's a twinkle in your eye.
Mm-hmm, and I've big feet. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Yes, Alice. Are you married?
Why? No.
That's fine. I've been a little worried about that.
Mr. MacDonald, I have to go now.
All right, but look, they're going to let me walk in the park in a few days. Will you hold me by the hand and guide me over the rough spots?
But I'm not a nurse.
I don't need a nurse. I need somebody I like to talk to, and I'm to be humored. Well?
I'll speak to the superintendent. And here's the money for the rent, Goldie. I guess that covers everything.
Yeah. I feel like a prize heel using your dough like this after the way I rousted you around.
Well, you rousted me out of jail, too. I'll never forget that.
It sure is a miracle you haven't been recognized. I hope our good luck lasts, that's all.
I haven't even been thinking about it. I guess when you see other people suffering, you forget your own troubles.
Is that it? Or is it that guy you've been walking through the park?
He's suffering too, Goldie, but you'd never know it. He may be blind for life, and he jokes about it.
You ain't going soft on him, are you?
A lot of good it'd do me, wouldn't it? The way things are now.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to beat it.
You seeing him again?
I said if it was a nice morning.
Well, the sun's out. Keep your hat down over your face, kid. Don't take any chances.
And there are flowers coming out over there by the fountain. Jonquils, I think they are. And the grass is so green and so fresh.
Yes, I can smell it.
Do you want to sit down now? There's a bench right here.
All right. It's almost as good as being able to see having you with me. Better, maybe. I'm going to miss you when I leave here, Alice.
Are you?
You're supposed to say you'll miss me, too.
I will.
Isn't there something we could do about it?
I don't think so.
How about you coming along as my assistant?
Oh, I don't even know what a chemist's laboratory looks like.
That automatically makes you an expert. Or maybe you could be my secretary or companion, or I could make you professor of coffee. Don't think that's any small job. A house is never a home without a good cup of coffee.
Your home must be lovely.
It is. It's a little town called Kent up in Connecticut. My friends call it McDonald's Folly because it's mostly barn. That's the lab. The rest of it's not much, really, but it's enough for me. I've never been very good at making money or wanting to.
I can understand that.
Can you? A lot of people can't. Most people lie, others cheat, some even kill for it. But would you sell your happiness, peace of mind, contentment right now for any price? Bet you wouldn't. What's the matter? Alice?
It's nothing.
You crying?
No. Go on talking. Please.
Alice, what do you think about coming home with me?
Do you really want me to say yes?
So much so that I'm afraid.
Afraid of what?
I have a premonition. I have a feeling that when they take the bandage from my eyes, that you'll have vanished.
Oh.
Will you, Alice?
I don't know. Don't you think it's time we were starting back?
All right. Thanks for the walk, madam. It's been grand.
But you can't do it. You can't leave here now. Where would you go?
I don't know. Somewhere as far away as I can get. I want to start all over, Goldie.
Yeah, you'll start all over in the pen. 14 years and 8 months. That's what you'll start. Mary, what's the matter with you? You've been lucky here. Is it that guy that's got you going? Is that it?
He asked me to marry him.
Marry him? You can't.
I know. That's why I'm leaving here. I don't want him to ask me again. I want to see him just once. Then I'm clearing out.
You're not going to tell him anything?
I want to see him, that's all.
Who's that?
You're going to open it?
Quiet. Who is it?
Manager.
Manager? Well, he wants that, I don't know.
All right, sister, get back.
Who are you?
The old file, get back in that room. Okay, Don?
Don.
All right, Luigi, wait outside in the hall.
Sure.
Hello, Mary. Let me look at you, honey.
Don.
Didn't expect me here, did you? The cops did, though. I slipped through a whole army of them. I'll do it any time to get to you.
Cops? Where?
Well, they're thick as flies all around the block. We came over the roofs, and that's the way we're going back.
Going back?
I told you they couldn't keep us apart. We're together now, you and I. And we're going to stay together.
Go ahead, kid. What have you got to lose?
Who's she?
She's my roommate.
Will she talk?
Do I look silly?
No. You look smart. Too smart. Go ahead, Mary. Get some things together.
No, you can't do this. You can't.
Why, it's half done now, honey. I'm taking you right out of their teeth, just like I said I would. Come on.
All right. Give me a few minutes. I'll pack my things.
Go ahead, but don't be long. I'm hot as a rivet around here.
No, I won't be long.
Hey, you, get away from that window. Don't be giving any signals or I'll drop you.
Signals? Who'd I be signaling? The cops?
Why not? You wouldn't be the first stool pigeon to win a parole by double-crossing a pal.
What do you mean by...
Shut up. I had your number before I ever stepped in here. That was a nice break you made out of stir, wasn't it? Nice and easy. With the guards shooting over your heads.
You're crazy.
The cops must think I am, trying to hook me with a stunt like that. But I'm not, Goldie. I'm smart.
Hey, boss.
What?
Boss, a couple of cops heading for the door downstairs. I seen them from the window in the hall.
You know we're here?
They don't look it, but we better blow.
Get Mary out of that room. Tell her to make it fast.
Yeah. Hey, the boss says she ain't here.
What?
She's gone. Look, the window's open. She went down the fire escape.
Gone? Oh. You did that, didn't you, Goldie? You gave her the nod, didn't you?
No.
Don't lie. You told her to skip.
I didn't. Say, help me, I didn't. She must have been scared. That talk about the cops, she was scared, that's all.
Yeah.
Boss, no. Boss, not with those guys downstairs. No, boss, don't do it now.
Open the door.
No, boss.
Open it. I ought to let you have it.
No, don't, please.
Oh, don't crawl. You can thank those guys in the street for getting away with this. And you can tell them that I'm going to find Mary Burns. No matter where she is, I'm going to find her. Tell them that. Come on.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
We've finished Act 2 of Mary Burns' Fugitive. Before getting into the third act, we observe an old custom and hear from another personality from behind the scenes of Hollywood. Next Sunday is Easter, one of the most important religious holidays, a day of happiness and rejoicing. An interesting sidelight is that tradition has decreed it to be the official opening of Spring Styles, a sort of premiere performance of new clothes. We figure you'll be interested in hearing what one of the screen's capital's best-known authorities has to say about styles. He's Travis Banton. Mr. Banton has created clothes for Paramount stars for 13 years. He is largely responsible for the style influence wielded today by celebrities like Claudette Colbert, Marlene Dietrich, Carol Lombard, and tonight's star, Miriam Hopkins. As a husband, Travis, and the father of 2 daughters, I have a marked interest in women's clothes, an interest which reaches tremendous proportions about the first day of every month. So go ahead and tell me what kind of clothes I'll be paying for this spring.
It may sound strange, Eddie, but the individual exerting the greatest influence on new styles has been dead for 18 years. Her name was Eugenie, and she was Empress of France 75 years ago. Do you remember those hats?
I've been trying to forget them.
So have I. However, I think her ideas for dresses are decidedly more sensible, and apparently the rest of the fashion world agrees. For this Easter, we'll see a great deal of middle 19th century style.
Oh, you mean those willowy, romantic thingamajigs with the come-hither look?
Well, that's one way of putting it. Dresses with snug bodices and full billowing skirts. Only we don't call them thingamajigs. We call them Winterhalter dresses. Mr. Winterhalter being the court painter during Eugenie's reign. The point to keep in mind about Winterhalter dresses is this. It's very fine to go back in history for style ideas, but be careful how you apply these ideas. Don't go completely 19th century, or you'll give the impression of dressing for a masquerade. Make certain you incorporate a modern touch in your hairdress and accessories.
What are these winter garden dresses going to be made of?
The name is Winterhalter.
Oh, I
And the materials will be the same as in Eugenie's day.
I see.
Taffetas, heavy satins, nets, and, when the weather gets warmer, organdies. That applies to evening wear. Correct streetwear in Hollywood at Easter will reveal an abundance of light colors, pastels and rose beige, light gray blues. Dresses will follow very simple tailored lines. Materials will be crepe and sheer woolen.
Tell me, Travis, are women's skirts getting any shorter?
No, they'll stay about the same. And speaking of skirts, the proper place for one to end is the middle of the calf, not any set number of inches from the floor, because that would have to vary out of necessity, depending upon the height of the individual.
Well, what about these things they call cocktail dresses that aren't street or evening dresses and yet come down to about the ankle?
My advice is to steer clear of cocktail dresses. They've been in and out for the last 6 years. But a woman will look better for late afternoon and dinner if she chooses a regulation length dress in formal fabrics, such as velvet or lame, with a simple cloth coat or fur jacket. Of course, that's only my own opinion, and some well-dressed women don't seem to agree with me. There are a few other things I don't like in styles which make me look a little foolish, because I had so much to do in making them popular.
For instance?
Well, veils. I designed some for Marlene Dietrich on the screen, and for a while they were fine. But now let's forget them for a while. Miss Dietrich also set a style when I gave her a bunch of carnations to wear on her hair. But I think it's time we put flowers in vases and keep them off of a girl's head. And fancy gloves. I had something to do with them, too. I wish I hadn't. I'm all for gloves, but let them be simple. I'm also a staunch believer in women spending as much money as possible.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Let me finish. I just want to suggest that if women spend their money on good materials, and forget about doodads and ornaments, they'll dress much better and will actually economize. Paris doesn't quite agree with me, because at the moment they're advocating buttons made of walnuts and chickens for hats, and they're putting lobsters on the fronts of their dresses.
A sort of a combination salad idea. By the way, did you ever taste my sauerbraten?
No, I don't want to.
That's too bad.
Eddie, looking at you reminds me of waistlines.
Waistlines? Say, you're sure again me tonight, aren't you?
No, not at all. You merely prompt a thought. The trend today is toward a high waistline. That's perfectly all right. But dresses should emphasize the natural waistline also. And a dress can do both easily, as Claudette Colbert shows you in Bluebeard's Eighth Wife. Your own waistline is a pretty good asset, and don't let fashion deprive you.
I'll back you up on that, Mr. Benton.
You look at Mr. Arnold.
Any other remarks?
Yes, one more, which is pretty important. Give the care of clothes the same attention as you give the purchase of clothes.
Did I hear the word Lux coming up?
You certainly do. I can't tell you why Lux Flakes are so fine, but I can tell you that they leave washable materials looking smarter than anything else I know. And more washables will be worn this summer than ever. By smarter, I mean that colors stay fresh and alive when you use Lux, and fabrics retain their new look so much longer. You can be pretty sure that's why Lux is in all the big studio wardrobes in Hollywood. And one parting bit of advice. When you buy a hat or a dress or a pair of shoes, bear in mind with what other clothes you're going to wear that hat or dress or shoes. Only through the coordination of good taste will you dress properly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Travis Banton. Thank you. And once again, Mary Burns' Fugitive, starring Miriam Hopkins, Henry Fonda, Mary Astor, and Paul Guilfoyle. More weeks have passed. Weeks of terror for the fugitive Mary Burns. Hunted by the police, hunted by an insane killer, she walks in the shadows, never showing a face, startled by every footstep. Now, in desperation, she turns to the only refuge left to her, the home of Alec McDonald in Connecticut. As she stands in line at the railroad ticket office, the newsboys scream her name from the street.
Hey, paper, police hunt Mary Burns, gangster sweetheart, still at large, paper.
Yeah, read all about it. Killer defies police. Don Mason will get Mary Burns and Spider G-Man. Hey, read all about it.
Next, please.
One ticket to Kent.
Round trip?
How much is that?
$4.80.
No, one way, please.
Here you are. That's $2.92.
Hartford Special, leaving on track 2. Hartford Special, all aboard. Hartford Special, leaving on track.
Who is it? Just a minute. Who is it?
May I come in, please?
What you want?
Mr. McDonald, is this his house?
Yes, ma'am, but he ain't been well. He just come from the hospital last...
Who is that, Jerry?
Lady here, sir, says she want to see you.
Oh, yes? What is it, please?
Don't you know me?
No, I don't.
You can see me now. Don't you know my voice?
Alice, is it really you?
Yes.
Catch her, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
What's the matter, Alice? Alice, what is it? Carry her inside, Jerry.
Yes. How is she, Mr. Knight? Is she all unfainted yet?
She'll be all right. Fix a cup of tea, will you?
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Alice?
Why do you look at me so curiously? Do I seem so strange to you?
You're exactly as I've always pictured you, except that you're much lovelier. How did you come here?
Please, don't ask me anything now, Alex. I've been sick, that's all. I thought it'd be quiet here. You could have me for a while.
I'll have you for a long while. You just try and get away.
Thank you.
I'll make you happy here. It may be lonesome at first, but
no, that's just why
What?
Nothing.
It's a good place for a rest. That's what you need, don't you?
Rest? Yes. That's what I need.
That's the thing that licked me, Alice. That jar with the tubes. Blew up on me. Well, now I've licked it. It's been worth every minute.
I'm glad.
Did you finish all the notes?
Yes, the ones from last week, too.
Good. We can go right ahead now. I've got a lot of ideas on this stuff. May take a little time, but...
Oh.
What's the matter, Alice? What are you thinking about?
Well, I can't stay here indefinitely. I've got to leave, Alec.
Why?
Because I must.
Alice, look at me. Is there something you want to tell me? Is there?
No.
Then I'll tell you. I love you, Alice. You can't leave me now. I love you more than anything in the world.
You mustn't say that.
I will say
It's not right.
Why isn't it? Why, Alice?
Because you don't love me. You love Alice Brown. And I'm not Alice Brown. I'm Mary Burns, an escaped convict, fugitive. I tricked you, fooled you. I've used your house as a hideout. Well, you couldn't love Mary Burns, a gangster's girl.
Are you a gangster's girl?
Don't you read the papers? Don't you know?
The papers say that Mary Burns is a gangster's girl. Are they right?
No.
I love you, Mary.
Don't, Alec. If I married you, I'd be responsible for your death. Won't you understand? Don Mason says I'm his. He'll never give me up. He'll kill you. He's insane. He'll kill you.
I'm not afraid of Don Mason, and you're not. You've got to tell me you're not.
But I am. I know what he'll do. Alec, why don't you be truthful? If you'd known I was Mary Burns, you'd never have fallen in love with me.
Wait a moment. There's something I want to show you. You see these? Newspaper clippings. Shall I read you the headlines? Mason Mall escapes police. Mary Burns, fugitive from justice. Mason swears...
Don't, please. You knew all the time.
The police questioned me at the hospital after you disappeared. I learned everything about you. I followed every step of your flight through the newspapers.
Why didn't you tell me?
I've been waiting for you to tell me. If you'd been able to forget everything, I would have married Alice Brown. Kept her here where she'd be safe and free, not hunted. But you can't forget. It's hanging over your whole life. That's why you've got to go back, Mary, and clear yourself.
Oh, I won't go back. They didn't believe me once. Why should they now?
Mary, listen to me. I want to do everything in my power to make you happy. I want to make up to you for everything you've gone through.
But you don't know what it's like.
You had the courage and strength to tell me who you were. You have the courage and strength to go back there. It's the only way. Our future together is up to you. We can go away where no one will ever find us, or we can stay here and face it bravely and honestly. Which will it be, Mary?
I'll go back.
Mary. Mary, darling. Long distance, please. Hello. Get me the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Washington, D.C.
Mary Burns captured. Paper. Read on it. Mary Burns gives herself up to Ed famous chemist. Paper. Chemist to marry Mary Burns before we time the present. Chemist to wed Mary Burns. Read on paper. Chemist to wed Mary Burns.
Mary Burns.
Take it easy, boss.
Nobody's ever taken anything from me that I wanted. She doesn't love that guy. The G-Heat panicked her, and she wants security. And that's what I'll give her right now, for her and for me. Come on, we're scrambling.
You're dope, Mason. That place is 1,500 miles.
There are planes, aren't there? I'm going to give those newspaper pals of mine a headline that'll thrill the world. Did you ever hear of Pagliacci?
No.
Well, never let it be said that Mason is a Pagliacci. Come on.
Well, I guess you know what you're doing, McDonald.
I guess I do. The wedding's to be right in this room. No guards around the place. No outward signs of protection.
But why?
Psychology, Mr. Cameron. I'm expecting an uninvited guest.
All right. You're the boss.
Where's Mary? We're almost ready.
Upstairs with the matron. I'm not completely...
Lots of weddings in my life, Mary, but never one like this. It's too bad you'll have to be separated. Then, as Mr. McDonald says, it'll only be for a little while. He's a fine man.
He's the finest man in the world.
And you're a brave kid. Have you got everything? You know, every bride should wear something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue.
Well, I've everything but something borrowed. Would you lend me something?
Sure. Hand me my bag. I'll let you have my handkerchief.
Thanks. Here you are.
Hanky matches your... Why, Mary, what's the matter?
Nothing. That revolver in your bag.
I have to carry it, Mary.
Oh, I know. It just made me remember I'm not just a happy girl getting married. I'm Mary Burns, fugitive. Alec.
Hello. Nervous?
Well, isn't every girl nervous at her wedding?
I suppose so. Don't be frightened, dear.
I'm not. But, Alec, this marriage is too unfair to you.
It's what I want.
Thank you, darling.
They're waiting. Come on, Mrs.
And you take this woman for your lawfully wedded wife, to love, honor, and cherish as long as you both shall live?
I do.
If there be anyone who knows why this man and this woman should not be joined together in wedlock, let him now speak, or forever after...
I'll speak. Shut up. Oh! Shut up, everybody. Stand where you are. Mary, come here.
Mason, you can't get away with this.
You poor sap. Did you think I was going to sit by and let you marry my girl?
Mason, you're nothing but a cheap grandstander.
Yeah? I'm the most famous guy in the country, that's all.
You're insane, Mason.
I'll show you how insane I am. Mary, come here.
Alec.
You'd better go, miss.
Yeah, make it snappy, kid. We got to get going. You, McDonald, that crack about my being a cheap grandstander is your last crack. But I'm going to give you a memory to take with you. Mary, show that Sir Galahad you were kidding him. Show him who you really love. Show it to him with a kiss, Angel.
All right.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Sir Galahad? Come on, kid, let's lamb.
Wait until I get my handbag on the table.
I'll make it snappy.
Mary, that's my bag.
Shut up, you. Hurry up, baby.
All right, Don.
Are you ready?
Yes, Don.
Get back. Get away from him. You got him, Mary. He's dead.
Dead? I killed him. I've killed a man. Oh, my God!
It's all right, Mary. Don't cry anymore.
I had to do it, Alec. I had to. He'd have killed you. That's all I could think of. His life against yours. Oh, I don't care what happens to me now. I don't care what...
Darling, don't. Look up here.
Oh, sorry.
Come in, Cameron.
I'm leaving for Washington in a little while. I'd like to speak to you, Mary.
I know. I'll be ready in a few minutes.
Oh, there's no rush for you.
What?
I just phoned headquarters. They're pretty proud of you, Mary, and they'd like to show their appreciation. The chief cut through a little red tape and had a paper drawn up. It isn't absolutely legal yet, but it will be by tomorrow.
What is it?
Let me see. This is to certify that the prisoner known as Mary Burns has been granted complete and full pardon.
Alec.
And has been remanded to the custody of and is responsible. Read it, Mary.
To the custody of and responsible to Alec MacDonald, husband.
Thank you, Miriam Hopkins, Henry Fonda, and our all-star cast. In just a moment, Mr. Arnold will bring our stars back for a curtain call. And remember, right after the chat with our stars, you will hear the announcement which was promised earlier in the program. Edwin Arnold.
Thank you. A word now with Miriam Hopkins and Henry Fonda.
I want to thank you, Mr. Arnold, Mary Astor, Paul Guilfoyle, and everyone who worked with Henry Fonda and me tonight. Though I hadn't been on this program for some time, I feel very much at home because I appeared in Seventh Heaven. That was the first broadcast of the Lux Radio Theater.
And you've beaten me by a few years, Miriam. Tonight was my first.
Well, I'm sure you'll come back again if you liked it as much as I did. This was my third time here. I used to wonder if people in general had a real interest in listening to drama on the air. But the marvelous success of the Lux Radio Theater has proved beyond a doubt that they have.
Thank you, Miriam. And I know that's going to help Mr. DeMille, our regular producer, get better a lot faster.
By the way, Eddie, how's Mr. DeMille getting along?
Well, I'm glad to say splendidly. He'll be back here next Monday night.
Fine. And what's the play going to be?
Well, I'm going to tell you that in a minute or two, and I'm sure you'll agree that both the show and the cast we planned for next Monday night are very unusual. We're really very proud of it.
Well, just in case that's a hint to sit down, I think you and I, Hank, had better end our performance now. And thank you again.
Yes, the lady's right, Eddie. Good night.
Hey, good night. Good night, Henry.
Thank you, Miriam Hopkins and Henry Fonda. And now, while we are waiting for Mr. Arnold to come back and tell us what has been planned for next week's performance, I'm going to make our special announcement to you. For a long time, the sponsors of this program have been trying to think of some means of expressing their appreciation for your enthusiasm and loyalty. To do this, we have searched for something beautiful and yet practical, something that would have a real value so that it could be kept for many years, something that would be part of your everyday lives. Well, it wasn't easy to get, but finally the makers of Lux Flakes, through the cooperation of the world's largest silversmith, have been able to obtain one of the most beautiful sets of teaspoons I have ever seen. They are original Roger silver plate, guaranteed by the International Silver Company. These teaspoons have been specially designed in an exclusive pattern called Allure. This pattern is new, dainty, and modern. Its delicate wheat motif sweeps gracefully from bowl to tip. It is not ornate, but has just enough design to add character to the sparkling beauty of the silverware. And, of course, there is absolutely no advertising on the spoons in any way whatsoever. We knew that you would want enough to go around. So, while the supply lasts, you may get 6 spoons, a complete half dozen, in the easiest way imaginable. And a written guarantee of satisfaction from the International Silver Company is enclosed with each half-dozen spoons. Just let me read you part of what it says on the guarantee. Every piece is guaranteed to give satisfaction in family use and will be replaced without charge at any time it does not conform to this guarantee. Now, these teaspoons are really valuable, the kind of spoons that you buy thoughtfully with the idea of having them give you a lifetime of beauty and service. While the supply lasts, you can get these spoons simply by sending to Lux, Meriden, Connecticut, 50 cents in coin, the top from a package of Lux, large size, and your name and address. Let me repeat that. Lux, Meriden, M-E-R-I-D-E-N, Meriden, Connecticut. This offer is good only in the United States. Be sure to send a top from the large size box of Lux. The large size is more convenient and more economical, too. And here's more good news. Many local dealers have sales on Lux Flakes right now, so you will be able to save money on buying Lux at the same time you get these spoons. Now, let me repeat. Send the top from a large package of Lux, print your name and address clearly on a piece of paper, wrap 50 cents in coin in the paper, and mail to Lux, Meriden, Connecticut. That's L-U-X, Lux, Meriden, M-E-R-I-D-E-N, Connecticut. This offer is good only in the United States. We are so sure you'll be delighted with these spoons that as an extra guarantee, if for any reason you don't like them, just return them and your 50 cents will be promptly refunded. So send in at once, and in no time at all you will have a complete half-dozen of these really beautiful, original Rogers silver plate teaspoons, doubly guaranteed. A money-back guarantee by the makers of Lux, and a written guarantee by the International Silver Company, the world's largest silversmith. And now, here is Mr. Edward Arnold with news of next week's show.
And here, ladies and gentlemen, is another announcement that I'm sure will delight you all. On this stage next Monday night, you'll hear one of the most popular stars the screen and radio has ever produced. It will be her first appearance in the Lux Radio Theater, and she comes to you in our air version of her current motion picture, Mad About Music, which is making such a tremendous hit today throughout the country. I refer to Deanna Durbin. And we bring you not only Miss Durbin, but three other stars seen with her in this grand play of song and sentiment: Herbert Marshall, Gail Patrick, and Mr. William Frawley. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you here next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Deanna Durbin, Herbert Marshall, Gail Patrick, and William Frawley in Mad About Music, with Cecil B. DeMille back here as usual as your host and producer. This is Edward Arnold sending thanks to you all, and good night.
Edward Arnold appeared tonight through courtesy of B.P. Schulberg. His next picture is Columbia's You Can't Take It With You. Louis Silvers is from 20th Century Fox, where he was in charge of music for Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. Paul Guilfoyle will be seen next in The Saint in New York. The screenplay, Mary Burns' Fugitive, was written by Gene Town, Graham Baker, and Louis Stevens. Our cast tonight included Earl Gunn as Cameron, Sybil Harris as the matron, Edward Marr as Luigi, Justina Wayne as Miss Jennings, Perry Ivans as Steve, Roger Drake as Joe, Lou Payton as Jeremiah, Lou Merrill as District Attorney, and Frank Nelson as Judge. Heard on tonight's program was Thanks for the Memory from the big broadcast of 1938. This is the Columbia Broadcast.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is fire. F-I-R-E.
Really?
You bet your life. It's Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood and brought to you by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The dealers who bring you America's most talked about new car, the distinguished 1953 DeSoto, and the exciting new Plymouth. See them both at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
That's me, Captain Spaulding. Hooray for Captain Spaulding, the African explorer. Did someone call me Schnorrer? Hooray, hooray, hooray. He went into the jungle where all the monkeys throw nuts. If I stay here, I'll go nuts. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Well, that's a sample. If you want the whole thing, you can buy it on the Decca record. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples.
Groucho, we have a man with an unusual occupation and a French war bride for you tonight. Mr. Frank Lubin and Mrs. Blanche Fansler, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome. Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you find in the kitchen. Mr. Frank Lubin and Mrs. Blanche Fansler. Mr. Lubin, you're pretty tall. How tall are you?
6'6" and a fraction.
Oh. How long have you had this fracture? Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Any children?
We have two.
You have two what?
We have two children.
Oh, you certainly got them in a hurry. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mrs. Blanche Fansler, you're the French war bride?
I am.
We've had a number of French war brides on the show, Blanche. How long have you been married?
I've been married 32 years.
Oh, then you're a World War I bride, is that right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Where did you meet this doughboy?
Oh, I went to Colombes to see a baseball game. Not to see the baseball, I went to look at the Americans. And I had a girlfriend, and she said, there's a tall one looking at you all the time. And he had a box of candy in his hands. He finally came to me. I could speak very little English, but after 5 minutes, he said, will you marry me? I said, yes, of course. He gave me the candy. I got it. And I thought I'd never hear from him, like most of them. But 2 weeks later, coming out of my office, I saw him with his suitcase. He was coming to get married.
Blanche, what was in this candy?
Chocolate.
Sure this wasn't taffy, huh?
Not taffy, no. Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. Lubin, what sort of work do you do?
Well, I'm a grip.
What is a grip? Would you mind telling us?
Well, a grip does a variety of jobs in the motion picture industry, and for instance, in the last show I was working on, Daryl Zanuck's famous production, The Snows of Kilimanjaro,
mm-hmm.
I set...
We also advertised DeSoto's in the show.
I set the gobos in front of the lights and the scrims and the cucalorises and make the moving shots for the camera.
You set the cucalorises in front of the gobo?
No, the cucaloris is in front of the lamps.
And did that melt the snows of Kilimanjaro?
No.
Well, there's nothing worse than the grip who's lost his grip. Huh? Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I do.
Just what, for example?
Basketball.
Well, how? I mean, as a coach, a spectator, or a district attorney?
Well, not as a coach or a player, as a coach or a spectator, but as a player.
Aren't you a little old to be playing basketball, Frank? How old are you?
I have to admit to 42.
How do you manage to keep up with the kids? Isn't basketball pretty fast?
Well, the kids run and use their legs, but I use my experience and play with my head.
You find that's an improvement over a basketball? After a fast dribble down the court, you must have quite a headache. How long have you been playing basketball?
Over 25 years.
Well, that's remarkable. How do you account for the fact that you can still play a kid's game?
Well, I don't drink or I don't smoke, and don't delve into excesses. I thoroughly believe in clean living.
No, it may be clean, but I wouldn't call it living. Well, I'd like to continue talking to you two, but now it's time for you to win some money. Just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. George, I'm going to do something different. Now, since this is a quiz show, I'm going to ask you a question. Why is the new 1953 DeSoto the most beautiful car ever built?
Well, that's easy, Groucho, because this beautiful new DeSoto is an entirely new car. The ideal blend of smart styling and fine engineering. It's longer, lower, and lovelier, with new chrome trim adding an extra touch of smartness. Inside, too, the new DeSoto is beautiful in every way. There's a smart new instrument panel, richly grained in handsome bleached walnut gray or dark, lovely natural walnut brown. The trim is in a variety of upholstery fabrics that are color harmonized with each other and with exterior colors. Then there's a new magnificent door panel and new chrome molding, which adds so much to interior beauty. From any angle, you'll agree that the beautiful new DeSoto is an exciting car, distinguished and dramatic. A car I know you'll be proud to own and drive.
George is right, folks. This beautiful new DeSoto is the car of the year. See you tomorrow, won't you?
This beautiful 1953 DeSoto is now on display at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers in two great series, the mighty DeSoto Fire Dome V8 and the brilliant DeSoto Powermaster 6. Stop in tomorrow and see the distinguished 1953 DeSoto. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the first truly balanced car in the low-priced field.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. From our list of 20 categories, you selected number 14, cards and dice terms. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
How about a penny?
As you like.
How about a penny?
All right, here's your first question. You are going to bet $19.99. In dice, if you throw a natural, what number would come up?
7 or 11.
7 or 11.
Well, you're off to a great start. You have $39.99.
How much of this $39.99 are you going to play?
How about a penny?
Okay.
How about a penny?
Okay. In cards, in what game do you try to avoid taking the Queen of Spades? It can count 13 points against you.
I think it's hearts.
I don't know. You go ahead.
Hearts.
Hearts is right, huh? Now they have $79.97.
All but one penny.
Okay. In cards, in what game is the method of scoring called pegging?
No, you said they wouldn't understand.
Cribbage.
That's right. With corned beef, it's very good.
You're really up there now. You have $159.93.
I had it last night, corned beef and cribbage. Now, how much you got to bet?
Bet it all.
The coup de grace, huh?
Coup de grace.
Coup de grace.
Grace.
All right, well, keep up the grass. Coup de grace. In poker, what do you call 5 cards in sequence of the same suit?
Straight flush.
Straight flush is right, huh?
And you'll wind up with a grand total of $319.86.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho, we invited some women who work for a packing concern to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mrs. Helen Belair. Her partner is Mr. Percival Vivian. Folks, would you please come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find in the kitchen. Mrs. Helen Belair, you're from a packing house?
Yes, I am. Swift Packing.
Where are you from, Helen?
From Providence, Rhode Island, from the Kaliskowski homestead.
You're married, I take it.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't be so mournful about it, Helen. Many people are in that condition. Mr. Percival Vivian, eh?
Percival was right. You got it the first time.
Mm-hmm. How old are you, Mr. Vivian?
In my early 60s.
Mm-hmm. When somebody says he's in the early 60s, that means he'll be 70 next Friday. Huh? Now, precisely what age are you?
62, and that's the truth.
Well, that's virtually 60. Huh? I'm exactly 42, and that's a lie. Where are you from, Mr. Vivian?
Camberwell Green, London.
Oh, from Blighty, eh?
That's right.
How long since you left there?
Oh, about 40 years.
Well, let's get back to the packing house, Helen. What do they pack at this place?
Well, mostly a little of everything, I should say. Sliced meats and turkeys.
Don't look at me, eh?
Well, bologna.
Don't look at me. What else?
Well, chickens, steaks, franks.
You're welcome. Well, let's say you're packing a cow now. Do you just cut off the steaks and throw everything else away? Or...
No, they don't.
How do you pack a cow?
Well, they don't throw anything away.
They don't?
No, they use everything.
Everything?
Yes. Hooks, the hide, pig's feet.
Pig's feet on a cow? We're getting some strange animals nowadays. This crossbreeding is doing wonderful things. You say they use every part of the cow?
Yes.
How about the moo? Do you use that?
Well, no, but I guess if they could, they would.
You're pretty happy in that joint, aren't you? What's your job at this place?
I'm a Frank Skinner.
I thought you said your name was Helen Belair.
It is.
Well, what do you do at this place, huh?
I'm a Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner? Oh, I used to know him very, very well. I used to play second fiddle with Jerry Fielding.
No, it's Frankfurters. We call them Franks.
You call them Franks?
Yes.
You call them what?
Franks.
You're welcome. Why don't you get a job with a finance company? You could make a fortune skinning the customers.
No, I like skinning Franks.
But you're certainly Frankfurter happy. You have a dog at home?
Well, it pays good money.
It does?
It's...
By the yard?
Well, no. We're supposed to pack so many boxes.
A day, huh?
That's right.
And if you pack more than that?
Well, I get more money.
Uh-huh. What sort of work do you do, Mr. Vivian?
I'm a manager of the Bard Theater.
Well, I've been barred from many a theater. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do there?
Well, I direct plays for him, and I'm there at 9 o'clock in the morning, the usual routine. See that your scenery and your carpenter and your electricians are on the job, sort of an overseer to watch somebody else work.
I see. She's familiar with Frankfurters and you're familiar with ham, huh?
That's right.
We're really in the meat industry here tonight. How did you happen to become a theater manager? Were you in show business? Or are you just crazy about popcorn?
No, I've been in show business ever since I was 5 years old.
Is that so?
I came to this country with Sir Philip Bengreet, and I started my own Shakespearean company. And on Broadway, I think I have the longest title, I should say run, of a repertoire of Shakespeare in the history of Shakespeare.
Is that so? Mm-hmm. Did you ever play Juliet?
No.
I played Juliet one time.
You did?
I didn't know her husband was backstage. I had one of the longest runs of any actor on Broadway. I ran all the way from Times Square to the Bronx Park. Who do you think is the greatest living Shakespearean actor?
Laurence Olivier.
You do, huh?
Yes, sir.
Now, what about me, Percy? Don't you consider me living? I'm not exactly a stranger to the Bard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts. What's sharper than a serpent's tooth is a thankless child. What is that from, Percy?
That is from the first part. You started from As You Like It as Jaques, but...
And I realized you didn't like it, so I switched into something else.
Why didn't you finish it?
Well, I didn't want to embarrass you, to be truthful about it.
Oh, that's too bad.
How did I do, Percy, old boy?
Pretty well, but I thought you started that heavy, you know, because it's Shakespeare, you got to do it heavy.
Well, I put on a little weight lately.
Oh, I see.
Well, it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings. Well, it's been interesting talking to you. And I hope you win a reasonable amount of money here tonight. Because right now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a crack at the $1,000 question. Run your $20 into more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the big money. Can't tell you how much you have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The French war bride and her partner won $319.86, and the secret word is fire.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can bid you $20. You selected standard romantic ballads as your category. These romantic songs have remained popular through the years. Let's see if you remember them. All right, here's your first question. How much will you bet?
Up to you.
Okay.
Lady said 8. I said 10. Now what are we going to do?
18.
18? Oh, 18.
$18?
$18.
Okay, what is the name of this ballad? Play it, Jerry. Sweet and Lovely is right. Let him play it.
I'm not sure I wouldn't forget it.
You now have $38.
Now $38? Remember you're going for $1,000 a night? How much of this vast sum will you risk this time?
30?
Okay.
$30?
$30.
All right, give me the title of this song. Play, Mr. Fielding. Cocktails for two is right.
And you now have $68.
You now have $68. How much will you bet on this one? You pretty blew that last one. How much?
Go ahead.
65.
65.
65.
Play, Mr. Fielding. I'm sorry. It is Give Me Something to Remember You by.
You now have...
Written by Arthur Schwartz and Howard Dietz. Let me get these names in because
sure.
they happen to be friends of mine.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have $3 now.
You have $3, and I'm sorry you only have $3, and it's your last chance to beat the other couple, but don't be discouraged. How much you going to bet?
$3.
All right, give me the title of this song. Play it, Jerry.
I wouldn't know.
I wish I could help you, but I can't. It's a small hotel. You were flirting with it, but you didn't have it.
You've lost all your money.
Well, nobody leaves here flat broke. So I'm going to give you one more question. Think hard now, and please no help in the audience. If you win this, you split $25. In what state is Omaha, Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Nebraska is right. You win $25. Now, before we proceed, I have a note here to remind me of something, Fenneman. You don't mind, do you?
No, go right ahead.
There's a piece about me in the current issue of Quick magazine. That's the issue of Quick that's on the stands now, so I trust as soon as the show is over, you'll all rush out and buy a copy of this.
We asked for some young people who were in our audience
you
tonight.
You asked for some young
people?
people?
Yes, unattached.
Aren't you married?
No, I didn't ask for myself. I was asking for you.
Oh, now you're talking.
Well, we asked for these young, unattached people who...
And were you successful in getting any?
Yes, they are unattached now, and they're not averse to getting married sometime in the future. And we have them backstage here. Miss Beth Jelm and Mr. Wayne Swift. Come in and meet Groucho Marx. Right here.
And here I shot all my ammunition with Shakespeare. Well, welcome. For the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, and for me, too. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you will find in the kitchen. Beth Jelm, huh?
Yes.
And what kind of a name is that, Beth?
That's Swedish.
Oh, you're Svenska, huh? Born here, I presume.
Yes, in Los Angeles.
You're a very good advertisement in Los Angeles. Local product. Can't understand why they insist on bragging about oranges out here. Products like this hanging around. Wayne Swift, that's you?
That's right.
Boy, you're going to be ignored tonight, huh? What kind of a name is that?
It's English. It goes back, I understand, from my grandmother to Jonathan Swift. Even back past that, I imagine.
Really? Are you connected with the Swift Packing Company?
I wished I was.
Have you ever skinned a Frankfurter?
Not yet.
Have you skinned anybody out of anything?
I've tried.
Wayne, you're unattached, is that correct?
That's right.
What kind of a girl do you have in mind, Wayne? Perhaps I can help you look.
Well, she ought to be a little above average in height. I imagine she should be fair-complected. She should be blonde, I imagine. Oh, like to do the things I like to do. Be intelligent.
Well, it may not be easy to find a girl who's both intelligent and wants to do the things you want to do. That's a large-size order there, Wayne. Beth, what sort of work do you do?
Well, I'm a junior at UCLA right now.
UCLA, they have quite a football team this year.
They sure do.
What are you studying?
Well, I'm studying to be a school teacher.
Sure, I had to be out 40 years ago. I couldn't wait a while. What made you decide to become a teacher?
Well, I was going to be a dentist, and sort of a long grind before you become a dentist, so I decided to switch.
Is this a joke? I recognize a feeble wheeze in there.
No, I'm afraid not.
I didn't know whether this was done maliciously or whether this was just inadvertent.
And it takes quite a while to become a dentist, so I decided I'd be a school teacher instead.
Well, you'll find teaching many of those children is like pulling teeth. What sort of work do you do, Wayne?
Well, I'm half owner in Can Do.
Can Do? You mean Can Do the magician? I knew him well. How is the old faker?
Not Shandu, Can Do. K-A-N-D-U.
Well, dash to you, too. Huh? What does it mean, Can Do?
Well, it's Marine Corps language for we can do anything.
Have a care, young fella. We don't use Marine Corps language around here. Maybe some sailors listening. What do you mean you can do anything?
Well, we will do anything for anyone at any time for any reason as long as it's legal and ethical.
Well, it has to be legal and ethical, huh? You must be starving to death, aren't you? Now, what's the hardest job you've been asked to do, Wayne?
I think the hardest job that I've ever had to do is when a movie company asked us and wanted us to obtain one of their obsolete M3 General Grant tanks.
Wanted one of what?
One of the Army's obsolete M3 tanks.
You're welcome. Well, you're a nice couple. I'm sorry I don't have time to clinch this romance, but maybe you'll get together in the quiz, huh? You run your $20 no more than our other couples, you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question. Can't tell you how much you have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The French war bride and her partner still lead with $319.86.
Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected anatomical terms. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
Okay.
Okay, all right.
1975.
1975. The word manual pertains to what part of the body?
Hands.
Hands is right.
You're on your way. You have $39.75.
Pretty silly, that. You imagine a fella says, cold on, I'm going to put a pair of gloves on my manuals. How much did they get?
$39.75.
How much you going to bet of that?
$39.50.
The word epidermal refers to what part of the body?
The outside.
Skin.
Well,
skin.
Oh, skin.
Skin. We prefer skin.
You now have $79.25.
$79.
All right. The word cardiac pertains to what part of the body?
The heart.
The heart is right.
You now have $158.25.
Should we go it all?
How much you going to bet?
We'll bet it all.
Okay. She's a pretty smart dentist, this kid, yeah. All right. The word pedal pertains to what part of the body?
Feet.
Or foot, yes. That's good enough.
And you wind up with $316.50, and that means that the French war bride and her partner, with $319.86 in just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Right now, let's pay attention to some important information about the beautiful 1953 DeSoto.
And here comes our winning couple for tonight, Groucho. The French war bride and her partner, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
All right, here we go for $1,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. In many parts of the world, people still make daily use of a counting device that originated before recorded history. It is a board with beads or counters on it. For $1,000, what is this primitive mechanical brain called? All right, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Abacus.
That's right, abacus. Well, congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the distinguished 1953 DeSoto also sell the brilliant new Plymouth, the first truly balanced car in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth, two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see the 1953 DeSoto.
Folks, here's a message from the National Tuberculosis Association. Join the fight on TB. Buy Christmas seals. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
For the American Armed Forces and their allies, a rebroadcast of the Red Skelton Show. With Shirley Mitchell, Ozzie Nelson, Harriet Hilliard, and starring Red Skelton.
Hiya. Thank you very much. Those sea bees, they speak right up, don't they? Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Pat?
Oh, just fine, Red. Say, how'd you enjoy your visit to Washington, D.C.?
Oh, I had a fine trip. When I got to Washington, the officials told me I could have anything I wanted, and then they backed out.
Well, did you ask for something hard to get?
Yeah, a hotel room.
I hear you had lunch at the White House.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like, I didn't get any butter. You know, the chain on my knife was so short, I couldn't reach it. Well, let's talk about us, though. Do we have anyone with us tonight who plays an important part in our American way of living?
Yes, Red, and I'd like you to meet Tippy O'Connor, a bellboy from one of the finest hotels in Los Angeles.
Well, how are you tonight, O'Connor?
I'm fine, Red.
Say, Tippy, with all the hotels so full these days, I guess they keep you kind of busy, don't they?
Yes, Red. The guests expect us to be everywhere at once.
Really?
Yeah, each one believes that he's the most important one in the hotel, and that we bellboys should be ready to wait on him at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, well, it takes more than a drop of hat to get a bellboy. Something with a little more jingle to it. What hotel do you hop at, Tippy?
Well, I'm the chief bellhop at the No Vacancy Hotel.
Oh, you're kidding. What's the real name of the place? Huh?
No, that's right.
It is?
Yeah.
It is? Either he's lost his place or he's dead. I don't know. Is that the name of the place, really?
Yeah, sure.
No, you're supposed to say, no, we haven't got any room, so it don't make any difference anyhow. Say, do the guests ever try to sneak out without paying their bill?
Yeah. I remember one time we caught a man trying to disguise himself as a woman.
Yeah, I know a fellow who did that once. He tried to run away, see, but the skirt was so tight I tripped and almost broke my neck. I love hotels, though.
Well, most show folks consider a hotel their home.
Yeah, I used to have fun. One time I saw a fellow sitting on a stepladder looking over a transom, and I pushed him off.
A gentleman's gesture.
No, it was a little crowded for both of us. I used to be a lifesaver in the hotel. I used to look over the transom, you know. I used to look over the transom, and then when the woman yelled for help, I'd run in and save her. Say, tell me, have you ever had any strange experiences in the hotel?
Oh, yes.
Read what's here, of course.
One time a man called up and he said he had a feeling he was going to die.
Yeah, why?
It seems his wife was standing in front of him with a gun.
Did she shoot him?
I don't know, but when they carried him out, he had an extra buttonhole in his shirt.
Well, before I forget it, why do they call you Tippy, huh?
Well, that's the nickname my friends hung on me because I always do extra things for the hotel guests so that I'll get a bigger tip.
Yeah?
But people seem to think we bellboys like dimes best.
Well, maybe those tight pants you fellows wear, I guess they figure a dime is the only coin will fit in them. Well, oh, brother. Well, thanks for dropping around, Tippy. I promise you, though, if I ever stop at your hotel, I'll give you something bigger than a dime.
You will?
Yeah, a nickel.
Go far away. Don't cry, baby. Don't sigh, baby. Bye, 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 baby. Papa's off his cutting out today.
Don't be a sad guy. You better dry those tears. Papa's gonna come right back with a dozen pretty medals for souvenirs.
Shoo, 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 baby. Shoo, 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 baby. Bye, 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 baby. Your papa's off to the 7 seas.
Gotta keep happy. Stay on those joyful notes. And welcome home your pappy. With a hey, nanny, nanny, and a mare's a doe.
Choo, 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 baby. Choo, 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 baby. Bye, 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 baby. Your papa's off to the 70s. 1A, Papa, bye-bye.
Now we come to our satire on our American way of living. And our subject is hotels. One of the most romantic hotels in the United States are at Niagara Falls. Let's look in on Bolivar Shagnasty, who's just been married. Well, here we are on our honeymooning. Kind of exciting, ain't it?
Say, who's that character hanging on the side of the car wiping our windshield? He's been there all day.
That's the guy from the filling station. He won't take no for an answer. Hey, are you hungry? Let's stop and get a hamburger, huh?
I'd rather have a kiss.
Okay.
Let's stop and get a hamburger.
Now, we'll soon be in Niagara, you know.
Well, how's about another kiss?
Okay. Say, I think we got a slow leak in our back tire right there. It's a good thing we're close to the hotel, ain't it?
Yeah. Did you make a reservation for the hotel?
A preservation?
Yeah. That means to wire ahead and save us a room.
That's what I like. Brilliant women, you know. Yes, I did, but all they had left was a 2-room suite. That's the hotel where we're going to stay, huh?
Ain't this romantic?
Yeah.
The Honeymoon Hotel.
What does that sign say? The Honeymoon Lodge. That brief pause on your way to Reno.
Hey, Bolivar, park up by the door so I won't have so far to carry the trunk.
Okay.
Don't they have any bellboys in this hotel?
Who cares? Come on, let's get in. Come on.
Well, when we walk through the lobby of the hotel, don't let anybody know we're just married.
Okay, you carry the bag then, will you?
Look, so that we won't know we're just married, let's talk about something else.
Okay. Tell me, you shot much pool lately?
Front boy, good afternoon.
Howdy, Doc. We have a reservation.
I'm the hotel manager. My name is Boo Root. We have your reservation.
Well, how do you know? Don't you want my name?
No, I have a name. My name is Boo Root. Now, do you want the $10 a day room or the $5 a day room?
Well, what's the difference? And don't say $5 either.
Well, the $10 room has heat, and the $5 room has heat, but not until summer. But we're all out of the $5 room.
Well, I'll tell you, then give us one of the $10 rooms for $5 and open a window, huh?
Sorry, you can't open the windows. That's why they're warmer. No fuel.
Oh, well, then we'll take one of the $10 rooms.
How long will you be here?
Oh, about a week.
Well, then you'll want a bed, won't you?
Right. I think so. Don't you think so? Yeah, we think so.
Now, for $5 extra, I can give you a feather bed with a pillow.
Well, what do I get for $1? Mashed potatoes and a blanket?
Sorry, no blanket.
All right.
Oh, bellboy, front. Yes, sir. Take these presents to the bridal suite. Yes, sir. Right this way, Mr. President.
Yeah. Say, where are we going? Down in the basement?
Oh, you'll like it down here. The last guest fired the furnace, and the manager knocked 50 cents off his bill.
Really?
Oh, we don't care, Bolivar, as long as we're together.
Yeah.
Kiss me.
You know, you're going to wear out my kisser, you know.
Well, here you are, folks.
Yeah.
If I may offer a word of advice, sleep in the bin nearest to the furnace. That's the soft cold.
Well, shall we go in, huh?
Bolivar, ain't you forgetting something?
Oh, yeah, that threshold stuff. Well, see, Daisy?
Kiss me, dear. Just think, Oliver, we're married.
Yeah, well, we can't stand here all day. You can put me down now.
Well, is everything all right? Do you want any ice water?
Well, no, thanks. Wait a minute. I thought they advertised running water in every room.
What do you think this is seeping through the wall? Bourbon? Well, I'll be going now.
Goodbye.
Well, I guess I'll be all in.
That's all. Thank you, sir.
You're quite sure?
Okay, you win. Give him a tip, will you, dear?
Here you are.
Oh, a new penny.
Did you have to give him a new one?
Alone at last.
No, I'm still here. Well, here we are, all alone. Just you and me. Just you and I. How about a little game of tiddlywinks, huh? Hey, what's the matter?
You don't love me no more. You ain't kissed me for an hour.
I'm resting. Say, this ain't a very nice room to bring a bride to,
Oh, I don't mind.
Well, if I known it was going to be in the basement, we could have rented the phone booth in the subway back in New York.
I think it's romantic. Listen, you can hear Niagara Falls.
Hotels in Washington, D.C. have a tough time accommodating guests. They turn down congressmen and even men like Willie Lump Lump. Server! Pipe down, will you?
What's going on here? I'm the manager.
Where's my room?
Oh, you dreamer, you. The line forms in Kansas City.
Now, wait a minute. I stop here all the time, I do.
You've been a guest of this hotel?
No, I always pay.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't remember ever seeing you in this hotel before.
I remember. The room wasn't very big either. I want a bigger one this time. The last one was so small my dog couldn't wag his tail sideways. I had to wag it up and down. Look, I tell you, I've stopped here before, and I got towels to prove it.
Well, I'm very sorry, but we haven't any rooms. Why, do you realize that a room on the 5th floor, we have 12 people sleeping in one bed?
Well, let's go up and make it 13. I ain't superstitious. I like a room with twin bathtubs, too.
Twin bathtubs?
I like to wash both feet at once.
We ain't got no vacancy.
No, you ain't got no... Look, you gotta give me a room. I'm a sick man, I am. I can't breathe,
You can't breathe? Well, if you can't breathe, how do you keep alive?
I got a priority.
What was the last time you breathed?
Well, I breathed in on Monday, breathed in on Tuesday, and breathed in on Wednesday.
Why don't you breathe out?
Oh, no, brother. If I ever let go now, there wouldn't be a cherry tree left standing in Washington.
Pardon me, but are you the manager?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, do you have any place where I can sleep?
Sorry, not a place.
Hey, come here. If you hurry, you can get the quarters where I slept last night.
Well, where is it?
Well, you go straight down F Street until you hit the big sign that says Wabash, and then you look around until you see the number or the door 9734567324141.
973546321?
Yeah.
What kind of a hotel is that?
Who said anything about a hotel? It's a boxcar I slept in.
Well, I couldn't sleep in a boxcar. I'm moving out of the hotel where I'm stopping now because it's so weird.
Spooky, huh?
Yes, when I walk down the hall, I get a feeling that someone's following me.
Yeah, I had that feeling once, and it turned out to be my underwear creeping up on me.
Oh, well. I'll try some other place.
Okay, I found a room for you.
Good.
Do you want an inside room or an outside room?
It's raining. You better make it inside.
Sign here.
Okay, let's see. Jones, Harrison, Hamilton, Faith, Wilkie.
Look, never mind reading the register. Just sign it.
Oh, no, you don't. I don't sign nothing till I read it. have their hands full when youngsters like Junior. Yes. So, Harriet, you be my mother, and I'll be the mean widow Ken. Hey, Mummy, look out the window. Look down there. Everybody look like midgets.
Junior, don't lean out that window. What do you want to do? Fall on somebody and hurt them? Now, what do you want me to look at?
Look over in the park. There's Papa riding no horse. Look.
Where?
Over there.
Oh, that isn't your father. That's a statue.
Boy, he sure could pass for Pop Swinny, boy. They both look plaster, don't they?
Now, Junior, go in the other room and play while I finish unpacking the bag.
Okay. I will go play in the... Oh, look, a hammer. Boy, I'd love to lay on these things. Oh. Hey, Mom, call down and tell them get somebody to come up and clean this room. That spider web looks just like a hammer. Hey, Mama, can I go down in the lobby and look at the people?
No, you can't. You just want to ride that elevator.
No, I don't. The elevator's broke. I threw a bag of walnuts down its shaft and then cut the cable, I done.
Well, what for?
Well, does you know any better way to crack walnuts?
Oh, you're just kidding, of course.
You just keep laughing, that's all. Oh, somebody at the door. Somebody at the door. Welcome.
Howdy, Sonny.
How do you do?
Do you think it'll be all right to wash the windows?
Sure. I will help you. Let me have that vase there. Now.
Now, see here. Why did you smash that window?
So you could work it. It was too big to get in your widow bucket the way it was. Hey, what's this thing? Here?
That's a sponge.
Well, you have to get a new one. This one's all full of holes. Look at it. Hey, let me help you, honey.
No. You're too small to be washing windows.
No, I'm not. It's the window washer.
Well, stay out of his way.
No, I'm going to help him. Give me the brush. I'm going to dab up the window.
Stop that.
Oh, he really isn't hurting anything. Besides, that'll help him keep him out of my way.
Hey, there's a spot on the window that won't come out. Oh, it's out now. It's okay.
Oh, I knew you'd do something like that.
Now, don't you hit me.
Don't run under that step ladder.
Don't you hit me.
The man is standing on it. Oh, I told you he was on top of that ladder.
He's laying on the floor, you know.
Now get into that bedroom and lie down.
No, okay. Just help me. They're not going to nail me down in this room. I ain't never been in a hotel before. I'm going to look around. Oh, the door is open. I think I'll run up and down the hall and stretch me widow legs, boy. Oh, this is really good to get out of here. Listen to that guy snoring there. Hey, roll over on your back. Hey, the door's open. Yeah, he must have the same kind of sickness me Pop has. There's a bottle of the same kind of medicine on it. Maybe it's time. It looks like it's too tight. I'll take these scissors off the dresses and snip off a little piece of his tie. There. Now, I think I'll snip off another piece of his tie. Now, he's doing the edge of me. I'm going to snip off a great big piece now. I wonder if lower lips are really necessary. Here.
How did you get in this room?
I thought you was going to explode, so I come in to disconnect your fuse, I guess.
Well, you shouldn't sneak into people's rooms.
Really?
You look like a good boy.
Yeah.
Tell me, what kind of a boy are you?
I could answer that, but I got to wait 10 years before I can use that kind of language, you know.
Say, you're smart for a kid, aren't
That's
you?
all right. That's very smart, boy. Ask me a question. Let's ask.
Well, all right. Who
Make a good one now.
Who discovered America? I said, who discovered America?
That's a good one, too, boy.
Well, I asked you a question.
I know you did. So what? I just said ask me a question. I didn't say I'm going to answer it.
Do you know anything about arithmetic?
Yes, I do.
What is 4 minus 2?
That's subtraction.
How would you like to make a dime?
Not me, boy. Me Pop made some money once, and the FBI got pretty mad at him, mate.
No. I mean run an errand for me.
Okay, I will go. I'm going to get whipping anyhow for running out of the room.
You find the money in that dresser drawer. I'll take a $50.
You must be a new man around here.
Hey, don't tear that dollar bill.
Oh, you told me to take a $50, didn't you? Look, I'll be right back. I'm going to be right back. Oh, there's that room with that little dog in it. I think I'll peek through the keyhole at him.
I thought there was someone peeking. How can I keep you from peeking through that keyhole?
Leave the door open one way, you know.
What do you want to do, grow up to be a peeping Tom?
Not me. I let me Pop go his way. I go mine.
What room do you live in? I'm going to tell your mother.
Oh, no, don't do that. I only want to see the widow dog, you know. I love widow dogs. I'd give anything in the world if I had a widow dog I could take for long walks, I would.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Well, would you like to take him out for a walk?
Yeah, I love it. What's in it? there's me, Mummy. There's me, Mummy.
What are you doing out in this hall now? I told you to... Why, Bee!
Harriet, well, imagine seeing you here.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
I came in to get my eyes examined. Is this your little boy?
Yes, he is.
My. He sure is a wonderful little fellow. I'd love to have one just like him.
Oh, Bray, you better get your head examined, too. Hey, look, I can stand on this table and do a high dive in a soapy. Watch me. Kind of high, and I missed it, too.
Did you hurt yourself?
According to what you're going to do to me. Wait till I look in the mirror. I'll see if I okay. Oh, I cracked me little skull. I cracked me little skull.
No, you didn't.
You dropped it. There. Oh, I forgot I parted me hair in the middle.
Say, Bee, would you like to come down to our room while I unpack?
Look, I'll be right back, kiddos. I'll be right back. Hey, mister, here, I'm sorry. We got company in here. It's an old friend of Mummy's. I can make more money eavesdropping for Pop. I'll see you later. Goodbye.
Well, neighbor. It's good to see an old face.
Yes, and you certainly is well equipped, too.
Junior, go play.
Hey, look, there's me gun in me suitcase. Would you like to see me gun, lady?
Why, yes.
Yes, you play hunter, huh? You be a big bear, and I'll let you have it right between the eyes, boy.
It won't hurt. Hey, Junior.
No.
Are you sure you packed your pop gun? That one looks like your father.
No, this is mine. Look, see? It's Pop.
The Red Skelton Show is rebroadcast especially for you soldiers, sailors, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen of the United Nations. Now, in the time still remaining, we invite you to listen to the modern music of Raymond Scott.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Each week at this time, the Kraft Cheese Company presents for your enjoyment Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But right now, here's an important message for you. Probably all of you are aware of the efforts of our government to make us a healthier, more vigorous nation by improving our diets. Yes, food, proper nutrition, is as important these days as airplanes. And that's why you should know about Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. It's not only a delicious spread for bread, it's also rich in nourishing food elements your whole family needs. Of course, most people like Parquet margarine because it tastes so good spread on bread, hot rolls, or toast. But health-conscious housewives also use Parquet because it's a protective food of exceptionally high nutritional value. Yes, Parquet margarine is one of the best energy foods you can serve. And to make its natural, wholesome goodness even better for you, Kraft adds 9,000 units of vitamin A to every pound of Parquet, making it a reliable year-round source of this important vitamin. Why not ask your food dealer for Parquet margarine tomorrow? One taste will tell you it's a superior product made to Kraft's exacting standards of quality. Yes, you'll like its flavor and you'll like its economy, too. Just say Parquet. Parkay. Last week, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, Fibber McGee's next-door neighbor, left Wistful Vista to become the legal guardian of his niece and nephew, Marjorie and Leroy Forrester, in the city of Summerfield. Relaxing after a hard week's work as father, mother, and big brother to the pair, we find the Great Gildersleeve explaining the finer points of baseball to Leroy.
Now, as a result of that play, Leroy, we have a member of our team on each base. You understand?
Yeah, the bags are loaded.
Yeah.
Come on, gang! Yoo-hoo!
Now, Leroy, don't get so excited. Remember, this is only a baseball game. Why, you robber! As I was saying, Leroy, we mustn't give way to our emotions.
No, sir, Uncle Morris.
Yes. Let's remember to be sportsmen. Get an umpire. Always give the other fellow the benefit of the doubt, Leroy. Strike three, your grandmother.
Oh, shut up, you big windbag.
I am not. The umpire's nothing but a horse thief. Horse thief?
I'm sorry, sir, but I've warned you before. Everybody's complaining.
What do you mean, everybody? I'm not complaining, am I? Hey, Jesse James, where's your horse?
We can't tolerate this any longer. Now, you'll have to get out.
All right, we'll get out. Come on, Leroy. We've seen this newsreel 3 times already anyway. Don't forget your cap. Careful stepping on people's feet.
Say, Uncle Morris, if you'll give me an advance on next week's allowance, I'll treat you to an ice cream cone.
No thanks, Leroy. It's time we go home and fix up for that tea party your sister's giving at 5 o'clock.
Oh, gee, do we have to gotta be at that sissy party?
Well, I'm afraid so, Leroy. Marjorie seems to think a lot of young Ted Wills.
Yeah, they're stuck on each other, all right. But why drag us into it?
Well, now that I'm guardian for you two, she wants me to meet Ted's parents under the proper social circumstances.
Couldn't you just bump into him someplace, like in the butcher shop?
You mean meet him in the meat market? No, I'm afraid it's too late for that. Marjorie's worked awfully hard preparing for this afternoon, and she must be all ready by now. Come on, Leroy.
Now, that's all taken care of. Oh, Bertie.
Yes, Miss Marge.
Will you please put the cake in the back of the pantry while I fold?
Yes, My, you sure work hard, and it sure is pretty.
That's my big surprise, and I don't want anything to happen to it.
County Courthouse.
Judge Hooker, please.
One moment.
Hooker speaking. What is it?
Hello, Judge Hooker. This is Marjorie Forrester. You remember me, don't you?
Well, should I?
Well, of course. Just last week you appointed my uncle as guardian for my brother and me.
I did? Who is your uncle?
Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Who? Gildersleeve. 2 years in the state penitentiary.
What?
Oh, I'm in the courtroom, my dear, sentencing a prisoner. What'd you call about?
Oh, I'd like to have you come to tea this afternoon so you and Uncle Morton get to be better friends.
How can we get to be better friends when we hate each other to begin with?
Oh, now, Judge, I planned this as a surprise for Uncle Mort.
Oh, going to surprise him, eh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll come. And when he sees me, won't all of his chins drop?
Oh, Bertie, Judge Hooker's coming. Won't Uncle Mort be pleased?
And some says yes and some says no.
Oh, look at the time. I'm late for my manicure appointment.
I'll walk as far as the store with you. I got some things to pick up.
Oh, I do hope everybody will like my cake, all right.
They sure will, honey. It's just simply scrumptious.
Oh, thanks, Bertie. It's got to be good. His mother is so discriminating and critical.
Yes, and she keeps her nose up in the air like she ain't been introduced to what she's smelling.
Never mind, Bertie. Let's go out the back way. It's quicker.
Oh, Marjorie, we're back. Hello, anybody home? Leroy, I don't believe anybody's home.
Doggone it, I thought we could get something to eat. It's been a long time since lunch.
Yes, at least 2 hours. Suppose we rummage around in the kitchen. There's bound to be something here.
I usually look in the pantry first.
Ah, the voice of experience. Well, here's a lot of canned goods we could open. Kitchen cleanser, tennis balls, shellac, motor oil. Just call out if there's anything you like. Crunchy cornies. Some genuine New England chop suey sauce.
Hey, what's that in the back of the cupboard, Uncle Mort?
Where? Oh, boy, a cake. Say, it's lucky you saw this. It's a honey. Looks good enough to eat.
Well, then what are we waiting for? Here's a knife.
1 moment, Leroy. This cake hasn't been started yet. I don't think we should cut into it.
Oh, it won't hurt to take one piece, Uncle Mort.
Well, maybe not. But remember, just a piece apiece.
Okay, here's the knife.
Yeah. Thanks. Here you are.
Oh, boy, this is delicious.
Is that so? Well, excuse me while I try my piece.
This is delicious, Uncle Mort.
Yes, sir. Mighty fine cake. That's the end of it. Yeah, stuffy in here, isn't it?
Stuffy in where?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, Bertie.
Oh, there you are, Leroy. Messing around the kitchen for something to eat, I speculate.
Who, me? I don't want anything to eat. Not now.
Yeah.
Good. You save your appetite for the tea party. Your sister done whipped together the most delectable cake.
Yes, we know of her, yeah.
She did it because it's important to impress Mr. Will's mother that she's a good housewife. Look like Mr. Will's gonna get a house and a wife.
Oh, I see.
Yes, Miss Marge worked her pretty fingers to the bone, baking all day. That's the surprise she's been talking about.
Yeah.
Now, you want to take a peek at it? I'll show you.
No.
Oh, but she got it so beautifully redecorated.
Now, Bertie, don't go spoiling the surprise.
It ain't gonna spoil nothing.
Oh, yes, it would. Leroy, isn't there something Bertie could go to the store after?
After when?
Bertie, would you mind running down to the cigar store and getting me some Punchinillo Panatellas?
But I got work to do. Leroy can get them.
Oh, no, he's a minor. They won't sell him. Here's $1. Get a whole box.
But Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hurry now, hurry. They may sell out. Remember, Punchinello Panatellas.
Yeah.
By George, that isn't a bad name for a cigar, seeing that I just made it up. Oh, my goodness, Leroy. Why didn't you stop me from eating that cake?
Boy, are we going to catch it when Marge gets back.
Yes.
What do you say we take a short walk? till about bedtime.
Yeah, that's very good. No, we've got to face the consequences.
Not me, Uncle Mort. I'll see you later.
Come back here, young man. You don't see me running away. I'm going to stick my chin out and take it.
That's not your chin sticking out, Uncle Mort.
Never mind. Leroy, we got to find some way to get an exact duplicate of that cake before that party starts. Oh, my. Who's that?
That's old lady Snoop, who lives next door. She's worse than an earache, Uncle Mort.
I don't know the lady, Leroy, but I'm sure you're mistaken. I'll just see what Mrs. Snoop wants.
No, Uncle. Her name isn't...
Ah, how do you do, Mrs. Snoop?
Mrs. Snoop? Oh, this is Miss Dinwiddie, Uncle.
But you said...
Oh, I'm so glad to meet you, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm the girl who lives next door. Your niece, Marjorie, told me so much about you. I feel we're practically old friends. Uncle Mort. Yes. Is Marjorie here?
Well,
No, I remember seeing her go down the street half an hour ago through my front curtains. You'd be surprised at all that I see through them.
Yes, I see what you meant, Leroy.
Anyway, I was looking for Marjorie, but I suppose you'll do instead.
I will? Well, what for, Miss...
Dinwiddie. Henrietta Dinwiddie. With an N, not an M, and the accent's on the witty, not on the din.
What do you want me for, Miss Dinwiddle?
Oh, you'd be surprised, Mr... I just dropped in to get a cup of sugar.
Why, of course. Leroy, where's the sugar?
Where's the cup?
Yeah. Oh, dear, imagine me. I forgot to bring one. I guess I'll just have to borrow a cup, too.
Yeah.
Oh, now, Mr. Gildersleeve, you'll have to excuse a poor little flustered bachelor girl. Yeah. No, Leroy, not the lump sugar, the granulated, just like I always borrow. Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, as I was saying, it isn't often that I get to meet such a handsome man with dark, curly hair and merry brown eyes.
Here's your sugar.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Leroy. Well, it was so nice being introduced to you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Don't you worry about the sugar. You'll be getting it back sooner than you expect.
Oh, that old hen, she makes me sick.
Me too.
Yeah, and a couple of weeks ago, Marjorie showed her a picture of you, and she said you look like Ronald Coleman.
Yeah. Ronald Coleman, eh?
Yeah. Can you imagine that silly dame?
Leroy, this is a free country. A lady's entitled to her opinion. Better put the sugar back. Oh, wait a minute. They use sugar in baking cakes, don't they?
Sure.
Leroy, I know how we can save Marjorie's party.
How?
Bake her another cake.
Can you bake a cake, Uncle Mort?
I don't know. I never tried. But it ought to be simple. After all, millions of women bake cakes every day. We ought to be able to do anything they can do.
Yeah, what do you mean, we? I'm not going to get mixed up in no sissy proposition like that.
But, Leroy, there's nothing sissy about baking. Look at the cowboys who bake their own sourdough bread. And the Indians grinding their own corn into corn fritters. And the cooks in the Navy making sea biscuits.
Well, I guess you're right.
Yes, well, let's get started. Should we use a cookbook or make it up as we go along?
Well, there should be a cookbook in one of these drawers.
Yeah. Here's one right here. Cooking in 6 Easy Lessons, or the Bride's Best Friend. Well, let me see now. Here's one. A mocha coca tapioca cake. Sounds too complicated. Tomato soup cake with gumdrop icing.
Gee, Uncle Mort, don't they make cake out of cake anymore?
I guess not. Look at this picture, Leroy. Doesn't it look like the cake we ate?
Yeah. Lady Baltimore cake.
Yes, that's it. Now all we got to do is copy this one.
Okay, what do we do?
First, 3 cups of sifted cake flour. We got any cake flour?
Nope. Here's some buckwheat flour.
Well, I doubt if there's any difference. Next, 3 teaspoons of baking powder.
Here's a box of baking soda.
Is it powdered?
Yeah, it is.
That's what they must have meant anyway. Now, salt, shortening, sugar, half a cup of milk.
Used all of today's milk, and yesterday's is sour.
Fine. My mother always used sour milk in her cakes. It'll give it that old-fashioned sour taste. Teaspoon of vanilla and 6 egg whites.
Hard-boiled or poached?
No, Leroy, raw.
It's easier to separate the white from the yellow if they're hard-boiled, Uncle Mort.
Leroy, this is no picnic. Now, you sift the flour, the baking powder, and the salt together. Here, use this sifter.
Okay.
And I'll take the other stuff. Beat egg whites until stiff, it says. Who, me, or the eggs?
Hey, Uncle Mort.
Yes?
This sifter leaks.
It leaks? Oh, yes, and look at the flour on the floor. Get some more, Leroy. Wait, I know how we can speed things up. We'll just dump all the ingredients in the electric mixer.
Oh, that's a swell idea.
Yes, it takes a man to figure out all the shortcuts in life. Let's just pour everything into the bowl. There.
Shall I turn on the mixer now, Uncle Mort?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, my goodness, Bertie. She mustn't see this mess. I'll get rid of her. You stay here. Well, Bertie, did you get me those Punchinello Panatellas?
Not exactly, Mr. Gildersleeve. I've been to 7 stores looking for them cigars, and 3 of them was fresh out, whilst the other 4 have them in the morning.
They will, eh?
Yes, sir. Now I better be getting back in the kitchen.
Yes. Oh, no. I mean, I've got to have those cigars, Bertie.
Well, maybe after I finish my work in the kitchen.
It'd be worth $1 to me to get those cigars now.
Huh? It would?
Yeah.
Well, maybe in that case I could... what's that?
I suppose it's a truck coming up the hill.
There ain't no hill around here. Sounds like my electric mixing machine in distress. I better go see.
Go ahead if you want to lose that $3.
What $3?
For bringing back those cigars.
Does I get it in advance?
Yeah, yes. Here you are, Bertie.
Thank you, sir. I'll just go on out the back way. It's quicker.
No. Use the front door. It's bad luck to use the back door when you're buying cigars. Take your time, Bertie. Goodbye. Wow, that was a close shave.
Hey, Uncle Mort!
Oh, sounds like the boy's in trouble. Coming, Leroy.
Don't come in, Uncle Mort. Go back.
I can't hear you. What's wrong with the mixer?
It's throwing the cake batter all over the place.
Oh, my goodness. Turn it off.
I can't. I got batter in my eyes.
Well, I will then. I'm not going to be intimidated by any... Oh!
Get you in the kisser, Unc?
Right in the pan. Where's that switch, Leroy?
Oh, watch your fingers, Uncle Mort.
I think I've got it now. Yes. Oh. Yes. Oh, what a mess. Here's a towel, Leroy. Wipe the cake out of your eyes.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, jumping jelly beans. There's that woman from next door again.
Oh, don't let her in here, Uncle Mort. She'll blab everything to Marge.
Don't worry. I'll get rid of that gargoyle. Coming, Miss Dunwoody. Ah, there you are.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I bet you think I'm an awful pest.
Oh, no, not at all.
But I wonder if I could trouble you for an egg.
An egg?
Yes, an egg. Chicken's hometown. I know just where Marjorie keeps them, so if you don't mind...
Don't trouble yourself. Leroy, hand me out an egg, please.
How do you want it, hard-boiled or poached?
In the shell. Bright boy. Lovely weather we're having, isn't it?
Yes. It's perfect weather for a ride in the country. I just love to pack a picnic basket and go out...
Here's your egg.
Thanks, Leroy.
Yes, thanks, Leroy. Thanks very much. Goodbye, Miss Dunworthy. Goodbye.
Did you brush her off, Hunk?
No, she's walking down the steps. Let's hurry with the cake.
All we have to do is pour the batter into the pans.
Fine, but before I mess myself up anymore, I'm going to put on Bertie's bungalow apron. Help me into it, Leroy.
Oh, but gee, Uncle Mort.
Hold it up higher, Leroy. Fine. Now run around the back and tie the strings. Oop, not so tight, my boy. That's it.
You sure look funny, Uncle Mort. Uh-oh, front doorbell.
What kind of a house is this? Leroy, see if you can get that cake into the oven. I'm going to answer the door.
Oh, but Uncle, that apron.
It's all right. It's dark in the hallway. That's right. Waste the electricity.
Good afternoon, madam. Do you sag and slump over heavy scrubbing? Have you got that dishwashing droop?
Droop?
Are you proud of the shape you're in?
Oh, see here. You nearsighted little nincompoop.
Bad cold you have there, madam. Now, I've got a girdle here that's the answer to all your prayers. It's a Gildersleeve glamour girdle. It'll keep you in, but you'll never wear it out. Yes, sir. Now, as a special inducement, I persuaded old man Gildersleeve to cut the price of this girdle to $3.99.
You persuaded old man Gildersleeve, eh?
Yeah, sure. You'd be surprised how palsy-walsy I am with the old fuddy-duddy.
Why, of all the...
I know, but you should do something about that coal lady. Now, madam, if you'd care to try on one...
No, I happen to own...
You already own a Gildersleeve girdle?
Yes.
Very good. But have you got a spare?
Mister, you'd be surprised how many Gildersleeve girdles I have to spare. Good day. Of all the interruptions. How's the cake doing, Leroy?
Oh, swell, Uncle Mort. It looks better every time I open the oven door.
Splendid. Now, who's that? A man can't even bake a cake around here. All right, I'm coming. Now, see here, you...
See what, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, Oh, hello, Judge Hooker. Come in. This is quite a surprise.
That's what it was meant to be. What are you doing in the apron? Playing house?
Yeah, that's very funny. No, I'm not playing house.
Hey, Uncle Mort, I just took the cake out of the oven.
Oh, shh.
Oh, boy, does it look swell. Hello, Judge Hooker. What are you doing here?
Hello, Leroy, my boy. What have you and your uncle been up to now?
Why, we've been...
Nothing at all, Your Honor. Leroy, time to get cleaned up. And look at me. I'm a mess.
Yes.
I'll go with you, Leroy. Make yourself at home, Judgy.
But I came early just to ask you two a few questions.
We'll be back, Your Honor.
Something funny going on around here. Smells like a cake I'm smelling. I better see what they've been doing in the kitchen. A layer cake. Looks like it would taste good, too. I wish I wasn't on that darn diet. I'd take a piece. Not that one piece would hurt me. George, I believe I will. Mighty good cake. I think I'll have another piece.
Ah, there you are, Your Honor. That's a bad cough you got there. Here, let me get you a glass of water. Oh, you've been eating our nice new cake. And after I worked my fingers to the bone...
Oh, my goodness, I'm getting sick.
By George, you are white around the gills.
That cake, I ate some.
No good, eh?
Now, my pills, I left them home. You better take me there now.
Oh, why did I ever take up baking? Leroy! I better throw this cake out of the window. There. Farewell, Lady Baltimore.
Oh.
You want me, Uncle Mort?
Yes, call me a cab, quickly.
Gee, what's wrong with the judge?
I've got to take him home. He's suffering from a bad attack of Lady Baltimore.
What can I do for you, sir?
I happen to see that big cake in your shop window. I'd like to buy it.
But that's a wedding cake.
Yeah, I know, but it could pass for party cake if we knock off the bride and groom. How much do you want for it?
Well, I'm sorry. I couldn't sell it to you.
Oh, baked it for a wedding, eh? But they'll just have to get married tomorrow.
Oh, but really, mister, I couldn't let you...
You couldn't, huh? Here's a $10 bill. Now do I get that cake?
Well, if you insist.
Never mind wrapping it. I've got a taxi outside. Just hand it here. Thanks. Now open the door, will you?
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Oh, Mama.
Yes?
I just made a big sale. A man bought that wedding cake we've had in the window for the last 2 years.
Leroy, anybody in the kitchen with you?
No, come on in. Did you find a cake?
Did I? Take a look.
Oh, boy, that's a dilly.
Not bad, eh? Who says you can't eat your cake and have it, too?
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, that's Miss Dinwoody again.
Leroy, put this cake in the pantry while I answer the door. I'll strangle that old seagull.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you must think I'm terrible running in and out all the livelong day.
Yes.
And borrowing things all the time. Well, it's because the road to a man's heart is through his stomach. And if that's the case, why, your road, it's so wide.
What do you want this time?
Oh, it's nothing, really. But I just brought you something I baked for you with my own little hands. A cake.
Well, thank you just the same, Miss Dinwooded. But I have a cake. A great big, beautiful $10 cake. And furthermore, I'm fed up on cake. Goodbye. That takes care of that.
Oh, Uncle Mort, I've been looking all over for you. Come in the living room and meet everyone. I'm about to serve the cake I baked this afternoon.
Cake. Oh, yes. Marjorie, there's something deep down inside of me that's weighing heavily on my conscience.
What is it?
It's your cake. I ate it.
But, Uncle Mort, how could you?
Leroy, help me.
Oh, Uncle Throckmorton, what'll I do now?
Don't worry, honey. I went out and got the biggest and best-looking cake money could buy.
Oh, but I couldn't deceive them.
It's all right. What they don't know won't hurt them. Now, let's go in and meet the folks, huh?
Oh, there he is, Mr. Gildersleeve. Yeah, I got them for you.
Got what for me, Bertie?
Them Punchinella Panatellas. The man, he didn't have none in stock, but he rolled them while I waited, and they cost $8 a box.
Oh, my. More expense. Well, never mind that now. Bertie, get that big cake out of the pantry and you serve it. And remember, no matter how different it looks, that's the one Miss Marjorie baked.
Huh?
Yeah, come on, Marjorie.
Here comes Mrs. Wills.
Wills?
Oh, Mrs. Wills, I want you to meet my uncle, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Charmed, Mrs. Wills. Excuse me for being tardy, but I had to take home a friend who was suffering from a sick a sick headache.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Speaking of cakes, Marjorie, Ted has told me about the angel food cake you baked.
Angel food? Well, I thought it was more of a Lady Baltimore cake like they serve at weddings.
Oh, really, Mr. Gildersleeve? They don't serve Baltimore cakes at weddings.
Not even in Maryland? Well, no matter what kind of a cake Marjorie bakes, it's always delicious.
Oh, now, Uncle Mort.
Just wait, Mrs. Wills, till you sink your teeth into this one. Ah, Bertie's bringing it in now.
Oh, my. It looks quite professional, doesn't it?
Well, I don't believe a pastry chef could do any better. Go ahead, Marjorie. You cut it.
Oh, you cut the first slice, Uncle Mort.
Huh?
After all, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be eating this cake.
I see what you mean. Give me the knife, Bertie. Well, frosting's a little thick. Dull knife. Bertie, haven't we got a sharper knife?
No, Mr. Gildersleeve, but we's got an axe.
Never mind, I'll manage with this.
Oh, careful, Uncle Mort, or it'll slip off the table.
What? Oh, my goodness, it's made out of plaster of Paris.
The Great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you something that should make every quality-wise and economy-minded housewife want to try Parquet margarine first thing tomorrow. Here it is. Now you can have a high-quality product made by Kraft that's so downright good as a spread for bread, toast, or rolls that you'll want to use it lavishly as a seasoning for hot vegetables, a shortening for baking, and for pan frying, too. Yes, that quality Kraft product is Parquet margarine. It tastes so good that you'll want to use lots of it at the table and for cooking. And it costs so little, you can use all you want without being extravagant at all. Yes, use all you want for baking. Remember, Parquet is a real flavor shortening that makes better tasting cakes and cookies. Here's what one user says about Parquet margarine. I'll read you a few lines from a letter from Mrs. Emma Hartman of Cavetown, Maryland. Now, we didn't ask Mrs. Hartman for this letter. She was so enthusiastic about Parquet, she just had to tell us about it. Quote, I would like to tell you how well I like Parquet. I use it for everything I want to be especially nice because of fine flavor, unquote. You see, the secret of Parquet's popularity is its delicious flavor. And housewives with an eye to food value like it because it's such a nourishing energy food that contains plenty of vitamin A. Yes, every pound of Parquet margarine contains 9,000 units of vitamin A. So you know it's not only good tasting, but good for you, too.
Oh, Miss Dinwiddie.
Yes?
Oh, you're angry. You took me seriously when I was just kidding.
Well, really, Mr. Gildersleeve.
That cake you baked for me. Some people just dropped in at our place, and that cake would just about save the day for me, Angel. Cake.
Oh, it would?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then, take it, by all means.
Oh, Miss Dinwiddie, you're an angel. I'm so happy I could kiss you.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, that is, I didn't quite mean. It was so nice of you. Say, where are you going?
In to bake you another cake.
Oh, my.
Oh.
Good night.
Original music was composed and conducted by William Randolph. This is Jim Bannon speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to be with us again next week at this same time for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Exciting adventure seekers. Lost in Brazil brings you to captivating videos showcasing heart-pounding adventures, mouth-watering cuisine, and hidden gems of this incredible country. From bustling cities to tranquil beaches, our videos capture the essence of Brazil's beauty. Experience the warmth of its people, the rhythm of its music, and the thrill of exploration. Click on the link in the description to find out more.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Old Time Radio Research Group for their remarkable efforts in preserving and archiving the captivating world of old-time radio programs. Their invaluable contribution allows us to step back in time and experience the magic of radio history firsthand. Their link is in the description below.